Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Late Night Siege. I'm Raven. Joining me, as always, is Dev Mata. How are you doing tonight, man?
Great, and guess what, Raven? We have some
What's that?
snazzy backgrounds.
We do.
feel so official and everything. This is very strange. Usually we're just like, chilling in a jazz bar or something. That's the vibe that we get with Late Night Siege. But now we've got like the faux neon lights, and I really like it. Props to you. Thank you for organizing them.
Oh, dude, no worries, dude. Anything to beauty yourself up. But yeah, look, it's cool to have a bit of a location. You can see the brick wall theme continuing.
I do miss your plants though. I'm sure that we're gonna have a lot of sad faces in the chat. It's like, where are Raven's plants? Don't worry, guys. They've got some. It's not UV light. They've got like some light to grow lights, right?
It's a grow light. Yeah, they're like I can't remember what people call them, blurple lights or something, right? It's like blue and red lights, and it's good for the leaves, so they don't miss out too much. But you guys just get to miss out on seeing them. Sorry about that.
Late Night Siege here for all of your indoor gardening tips.
That's right, man. That's right. But look, people might be wondering, we don't have a guest tonight, and that's true. We don't have a guest tonight. It's just you and I, man. We are going to be riffing about something that's pretty cool to do with Siege.
Yes, yeah, I'm really excited for this one because we've been talking about it for weeks.
Yeah.
Some episodes we just go for kind of more service level stuff, and sometimes we really get nerdy, and I'm a big nerd, so I like the episodes where we get really nerdy. Tonight we're going to get nerdy about sound, how it works in Rainbow Six, and how you can use it to your advantage. It's a really important element of the game. I'm really excited for it, and keen to do that. We do have a sponsor. Do you want to talk about HyperX first?
Yes, we do. Of course, HyperX are sponsoring this episode, so thanks to HyperX for doing so. We're featuring a very special product this week. Previous week's was the headset, like Dev said, and the microphone. But this week is the Alloy Origins keyboard, as Dev is holding up there. I also have one under my hands as we speak, which we'll both be using tonight. And you can be one of two winners of that keyboard. If you are from Australia and New Zealand, you're watching this stream, make sure you put exclamation giveaway in chat so you can find out all the details you need in order to be able to enter that. We'll be drawing one in the middle of the episode and one at the end. So make sure you are hanging out all the way through so you can potentially be one of those winners. And look, I'm excited to use this because I've actually just been using a laptop keyboard for a lot of this year, actually, ever since I got a gaming laptop. So to switch to this mechanical keyboard, oh my gosh, it's been such a difference.
Yeah, no, I actually forgot about that. I forgot you've been using the laptop keyboard. I'm really excited. I love the RGB on this one. It is bonkers. It's just like you've got the software as well that you can rack up and get crazy with it. But I haven't changed anything. This is just by default. And you can see it like cycles through it and all that. I don't think they're grow lights, so I don't think they'll work on your plants, but they're still pretty cool anyway.
Yeah, not quite going to work on plants, but it's very pretty. Like as soon as I plugged it in, just seeing like the default was actually quite a nice feeling.
Yeah, I love it. And yeah, it's full-size keyboard as well, and it's got tons of custom buttons. You've got the function keys that kind of work like you can pause and play music. I didn't even realize this, but like using the buttons on this keyboard, you can pause a YouTube video on a second monitor while you were playing Siege. I was listening to music through a YouTube video, and my mind was blown when I did that. I didn't realize that was a thing. Also,
nice.
It's a bit shorter than usual. Like it's not as tall. Like it doesn't have like a giant extra bracket here. I just noticed that compared to my old keyboard. So it's nice. It doesn't take quite as much space longitudinally on your desk.
Yeah, and on top of that, we're using the one that has blue switches. I think they come in like 3 different kinds of switches, but the ones that we have are the blue switches, which I believe is what you'll also be winning if you're a winner, which is very clicky. And I personally love blue switches. It's what I've always had in mechanical keyboards because it's really good to type on. I know that's not like necessarily a gaming thing, but it's also good for gaming. The other aspect is that it's really satisfying to just like be pushing these keys.
Yeah, you get some ASMR, like, right up close to your HyperX microphone. That's what you're all about. I see a couple people in chat who may be new viewers. Welcome to Late Night Siege. This is a show that me and Raven run every Friday night here in Australia, which is, I think, during the day for most other places in the world, potentially last night for some of you Americans. And we just kick back and have a good time. We often have guests along, be it professional players, content creators, and other people of interest in the Rainbow Six community. And we talk about Rainbow Six, and we play Rainbow Six together, and we often have some kind of feature for the episodes. So we've done Sugar Fright in the past. We've last week we're playing the test server, and tonight we are talking about sound.
Yes, so I'm super keen to get stuck into sound. As you said earlier, it's just something that we've talked about doing for a while. And I know it's a feature that can sometimes prove as a frustration for some people, and some people just don't quite understand it. And I think that's boils down a lot of the issues, is that some people just don't really understand how sound is designed to work in the game and just in general. So you talked about nerding out. Both you and I are pretty into audio as it is. Yeah. So I think if we're going to talk about one topic, sound is going to be one that we will be able to talk about for a long time. There is a lot to sound in general, but of course with the game as well.
Yeah, one of the things that's really special about the sound in Rainbow Six compared to a lot of other games is just how it's a lot more complicated in the way that sound propagates throughout the environments of the game. So compared to a lot of other video games, a lot of other shooters, sound is very, very simple. It just passes through objects. It doesn't matter whether there's a concrete wall between one room and the next room. You're going to hear the person on the other side of that concrete wall perfectly. And that's not realistic, obviously. It's a feature in some games that maybe works for some games. That's not the intention in Rainbow Six. Every single hole in a wall that you create, every single little hole in the roof or the ceiling, the floor, everyone standing above you, 3 floors above, you can hear all of that, and it all sounds different. And that's why it's a massive can of worms we're going to try and sort through tonight. So and I guess I had a couple questions, Raven, just to kind of prompt through some of the important things that maybe people are wondering when they're watching this episode. So firstly, I can imagine you rocking up to this episode like, oh, come on, guys. I'm not going to sit here and watch you fellas talk about sound for 2 hours. Why could that possibly be useful? But Raven, sound is so important in Rainbow Six.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I think the most important thing is just because of the detail in sound, it's going to be giving you info. So using like sound cues, and we're going to deep dive into it, you get information that you then act on. So it could be a footstep. You could be hearing somebody walking through barbed wire. It could be them going on their drone is a bit of a niche one. Even reloading, there's lots of different sound cues that you need to listen for, because that will give you information for you to make a decision on. It could be the difference between you deciding to peek a corner at the right time or somebody sneaking up on you. So sound is just, it's so critical to being, I don't know what you said, being good at the game, but being able to excel at the game.
Yeah, definitely. It's just another tool in that arsenal. What's crazy in Rainbow Six as well is every single thing you do makes sound. And we're going to demonstrate that in the game later once we get into the server, but every single thing you do makes sound, be it just taking one step to the left, that's audible. Yeah. Just changing your point of view so you're looking to the right more, people are going to hear your feet shuffling. Right. So it is so imperative to make sure that you understand it, can interpret it, so as you can say, you can make the right decisions. So what qualifies us, Raven, to talk about sound? You mentioned we're nerds, but I think especially for you, it goes a little bit deeper than that. Now, you've got a history within Rainbow Six. Actually, at a competitive level, you've played as a professional player in Pro League and coached as well. Isn't that right?
That's right. Yeah, I played competitively for... I start to forget how the time differences were, but like it was a couple of years at least. And then I became a coach for 18 months, maybe almost 2 years in itself as well. And then these days do casting and various other things. So I've worked so much with Siege. It's like, I haven't even looked at my hour count lately, but I think it's like 8,000 hours worth of game time, which is just pretty 8,000?
Crazy. 8,000? No way. You have to double check that for me, because that is a damn high number.
It's something crazy.
I was pretty proud of my 4,000 hours, and I worked out when I picked it, like, since I picked up the game, like since I bought it back in, I think it was 2017, how many on average a day that was, and I was blown away by the number, and I'm so embarrassed to even say it. So if you want to do the maths, you can. I'm not going to do it for you. We both have a lot of experience playing the game, and so I think we're in a pretty decent position to chat about it. So let's just briefly touch on what are some of the things we are going to cover tonight. We haven't even prepared a list because we just know that there are so many we can go through. Yeah. What are some of the things on your mind that you want to bring up when we jump into the server in a minute?
Yeah, well, I mean, like a good place to start is always going to be the sound settings, because some people are going to just look straight in their menu and be like, how can I adjust my sound here? So we'll just briefly go over like settings. We'll try to keep it basic, but just a principle of like sound in terms of frequencies, because that also really helps with understanding things. Like certain sounds come through at different frequencies. And if you're brave enough, you can use like an EQ to try and fine tune that so that you can hear things a bit better. Sound cues is a big one that I want to talk about. I'm really excited to talk about sound cues. Propagation. I don't know if I missed anything.
I think that's most of it. We did end up writing down a list somewhere, but it doesn't matter. We can find that later if we run out of things to talk about, which knowing us is simply not going to happen.
Never going to happen.
No, absolutely not. So yeah, no, I'm really keen. I'm just about ready as well. Like whenever you want to jump into game, I'm good.
Yep.
And I'm going to keep scrolling back and try and find that list. You wrote a handy dandy list at some point.
I did write a list.
You did.
Yeah,
I did. I found it.
Oh, good job.
It. All right. You wrote sound settings, EQ, propagation, above or below, materials, and sound cues. There's literally everything you just said. So you're right on the money, Raven.
Hey, nailed it. Somehow my memory has served me well. That's good. Yeah. Also, by the way, if you have watched the episode before, you're probably wondering why I'm looking off to the side so often. I just want to say, I have an extra monitor set up for once, and that is just where things are generally situated. So I'm going to be looking off to the side quite a bit.
Yeah, and I'm going to look off to the side to read chat so I can keep talking to you guys.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, guys, if you guys have any questions about chat, about sound in the chat, feel free to comment. I've got both the Twitch and the YouTube chats open. So if you want to know something, if you're not sure, if you don't understand something we say, feel free to ask a question. We have a dedicated Q&A section at the end. If we don't get to answering your question when you ask it, just stick around and pop back later. And of course, the giveaways we draw at the end. You say we have 2 giveaways, Raven?
Yeah, 2 giveaways. Middle of the episode, end of the episode. So
there you go.
It's so good to be here the whole time.
Yep. There you go. All right. You want to kick it off with the settings? I see you got the menu open.
Yes. So, I mean, there's not a whole lot in the settings that you'll actually be able to adjust that will give you a difference in sound. You'll see that like I've adjusted things here. I've turned the general master volume down because I found the game really loud compared to other things like Discord or any other communication app that you use. The music, I also just kept generally low because I'm usually talking or I've got other music playing. Up to you. It doesn't really matter whether you got music on 100 or 10 or 0, whatever it is. Dialogue volume, I encourage to keep it 100. This comes down to sound cues as well. You will hear sound cues of the other characters speaking in the game from both enemies and friendlies. So having that up, I think, gives you an advantage there because you'll be able to hear that clearer.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
second that.
Dynamic range. Maybe you want to talk through this one, Dev?
This is a massive can of worms. So let's just maybe briefly touch on what is dynamic range. So different, obviously, people are very familiar with the concept of volume when it comes to sound. You know, your mum says, turn down the TV. And then when she walks out of the room, you turn it back up again. Like it's just up or down. How loud in decibels is this sound? And now dynamic range is the difference. Also range, obviously, is from one thing to another thing. So from the very quietest sound of a tiny, leaf of grass or a leaf of shrub just moving on the ground, rustling on the floor, all the way to a breaching charge or an exothermic explosion. The difference between those volumes of that quiet sound and the loud sound, that's what range is. So a high dynamic range means that the quiet sounds are quieter and the loud sounds are louder, and a low dynamic range or a short dynamic range means that they are much closer to the center. It's very similar to if you're familiar with, say, Photoshop or even just like Instagram on your phone. The contrast slider is basically very similar to a dynamic range. A higher contrast is similar to like having a larger dynamic range.
Yeah, beautifully explained. Good job. Also, probably a good opportunity to start putting this in there that everybody's ears are going to hear stuff differently, right? Like Dev and I, we both grew up differently. We both had different listening habits. One of us might have pumped music, damaged our ears when you were younger. Went to a lot of concerts. Who knows? Everybody has different levels of how they hear things.
One of us is a boomer.
Yeah, look, maybe. So, like, we might suggest something and you might be like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I don't hear a difference. Maybe you won't. Yeah. And that's okay. Yeah. But this is just from our experience, the stuff that we know. Sorry, you go.
Different settings. I was just going to explain the different settings. So why don't we start on the left, which is hi-fi. So, hi-fi is high fidelity. It means that the dynamic range is really large. So that means that explosions are going to be louder and quiet sounds like footsteps are going to be quieter. Now, this is in some ways the most accurate way to listen to the sound in the game. But of course, keeping in mind, sometimes you don't necessarily really want to hear the loud sounds louder, and you might actually want to hear some of the quiet sounds a bit louder as well.
Yeah.
So in some ways, hi-fi will make each sound a bit more distinct, but it means that you're more likely to lose the quieter sounds as well if there's something loud going on. And you might get sore ears when an explosion goes off, but struggle hearing footsteps when there's someone in the next room. I typically, now this is very much personal preference, the dynamic range settings, but I personally do not use hi-fi, and I probably wouldn't recommend it for most people, unless if you're going for a really cinematic experience. Maybe you're not trying to play super competitively, but you really want that feeling of that massive explosion. Hi-fi is where you get that.
Yeah, you will definitely get the immersion through hi-fi. But certainly I am on the same camp as you, Dev. I don't use hi-fi either. I found, for me, it was gunshots, right? It's like some of the times that you're either engaging with somebody else, or you might even be next to a teammate and they're suppressive fire or they're shooting in general. Something might be happening that's loud. I always found that too much, and then I would miss just the subtle things. And again, sound cues, very important topic that we'll talk on later. Hi-fi sounds fantastic, but it does feel like you kind of lose some stuff within hi-fi. So next one is TV.
Yeah, TV is the middle ground. So TV is the middle of the three settings in terms of how large the dynamic range is. So it's basically the same principles I was just explaining. The loud sounds like gunshots, especially coming from your own gun and from guns around you, and explosions that are close to you, will still be the loudest, but they will be relatively, compared to the hi-fi setting, a bit quieter. And likewise, the quietest sounds, like maybe a drone rustling, or like changing the directions it's looking, or someone pivoting, might be a bit louder. And and then we have the most reduced dynamic range setting is night mode. And you think about it, like all of the different sounds, like if you think of it like a range, like a big line, like a timeline, everything is all spaced out. It's like you squish that down into this middle section. So most things are going to be of a more similar volume. And so that means, in theory, footsteps will be louder, and things like explosions will be quieter. The only downside of that is that there is an argument to be made that it can be more difficult to distinguish different sounds because everything is at a more similar volume. I'm interested to hear your opinion on that, Raven, and your take.
Yeah, definitely. One thing I noticed when I experimented with this is some of the more subtle sound cues, while sometimes you can't hear them that well on hi-fi, you can, like Dev said, distinguish them better. But with night mode, you will hear most things. Just sometimes you're kind of a little bit, I don't know, confused, or you might have to think a little bit more about, like, what did I exactly just hear? But out of the three, I've just generally found night mode the most comfortable in my playstyle of just trying to hear everything and just use that as info. Because sometimes maybe you don't want to distinguish differences between certain sounds. You just want to hear it, so like something is coming, or you have that info to prepare for. But yeah, just in general, night mode I found to be, I don't know whether you call it the most well-rounded, but it's definitely comfortable in that I'm not straining to hear certain things at all.
Yeah, I also use night mode, and I have for almost the entire time I've played Siege. I've tried a couple of other settings at different points. I watched one YouTube video which was trying to advocate for people to switch to hi-fi, and it came from like an audio engineer, someone who specialized in music, but he had a very different opinion of the subject, and obviously he had a very trained ear, so he was very good at picking out the really loud sounds versus the really quiet sounds. He preferred hi-fi. Even after watching his video and trying that, I still ended up sticking with night mode. So I would recommend most people go to night mode, just to understand what it is that you're setting here. And it is that there will be less difference in volume between different sounds in the game. Everything will be more close to the center. Hopefully that means that you don't destroy your ears listening to the gunshots and explosions. And what I will say is, I actually have an example from yesterday. I was playing and there was smoke grenades going off, some Capital firebolts, gunshots all around me, and I heard one person shuffling that I could not see standing behind a mirror window, and I used that sound cue, despite all that other noise, to get a C4 kill onto them, and that was using night mode. So I definitely think that even with a lot going on, night mode can still definitely be used very effectively.
Yeah, and like I was saying with the example of hi-fi, I felt like it was really difficult to hear things when there was gunfight happening. That was always the biggest thing for me, is I felt like I would sit here and strain and be like, I'm trying to hear something subtle, but couldn't get it. And I've just not had that with night mode, so I guess echoing your experience with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to answer the question in chat from Aussie Blackbeard, I would recommend night mode. So the question was, which is the best dynamic range setting to use for those softer sounds like alt walking? I would recommend night mode. I would recommend that.
Yep, seconded. It's going to be the most comfortable, and it's probably the least dependent on the gear you have, which is another quick point that I want to make.
That's a good point.
Is like, if you actually have incredibly expensive audio equipment, maybe hi-fi will be okay for you, because that audio equipment will help with sound separation. So even though there's a lot of loudness going on, it still picks up the subtle, softer sounds regardless. But I mean, let's be real. Who's really invested thousands into their audio setup to game? Not a lot of people. So I think night mode is going to serve you the best in 99% of cases.
Yeah, seconded.
Awesome. Maybe this is a good segue to talking about things like frequencies, EQ, and highs, lows, mids, which is a little bit nerdy and not something I can demonstrate in game very well. Do you want to lead it off, Dev?
All right. So there's this thing called audio, guys, and okay. So people have probably heard about EQ before. It's short for equalization or equalizer. It's a musical term that refers to different frequencies, as you said. So you have very high pitched frequencies, and then you have very low pitched frequencies, and it is a spectrum. So high pitched frequencies, an example of something that would be a high pitched frequency would be a whistle. Or even higher than that would be probably some leaves rustling. And then even higher than that would be the sound of wind, typically is quite a high frequency. And the sound of a low pitch frequency would be something like the impact on me hitting my hand against the table. Even lower would be something like a bass drum or kick drum or bass guitar. I'm trying to think of in-game examples. Footsteps are probably a mix. Like, I feel like everything in Siege is typically a mix. But it's also, what's important to understand is how those different frequencies get affected in different conditions. For example, if someone is walking right next to you, and this applies in real life as is in Rainbow Six, if they're walking right next to you, you're going to hear the sound of those footsteps, and you're going to hear some low frequencies, and you're going to hear some high frequencies as well. But if they're in a room away from you and there's a wall between you, those high frequencies have a lot more difficulty traveling through that wall compared to the low frequencies. So you'll still hear those low frequency footsteps, but you're not going to hear that like that's at the top end. And likewise if they're on a different floor to you. So typically the lower frequencies are important for getting audio cues when you can't necessarily see someone. And
that's an important point too. I feel like it's a common thing people have potentially learnt over the years, that maybe high frequencies is the key to footsteps. And it's not always the case, like Dev said. It is definitely a mixture of frequencies. So that's important. And that's where, like, if you do explore into playing with an EQ, you might want to just still have it balanced, because I've seen people, they'll just jack highs and like dip lows thinking that that's going to get them all of the footsteps possible. That's not the case. Like, you still need to keep it pretty balanced, but I definitely encourage you, because it's going to depend again on your equipment. Everything is reproduced differently, as well as your hearing. But if you do have an EQ, you can definitely just experiment turning up highs, mids, maybe even toning down something. If you feel like you constantly hear, maybe it's like a real high pitched sound, you could probably turn your highs down. And that way, maybe you'll start to hear some of the nuances in those other frequencies. Yeah, I don't know how much more complicated you want to make that, but
I will just jump in and say that, like, while there is a possibility that you can use some kind of equalizer to change the way that the game is producing sound and sending it to your headset, you don't have to do that. I consider myself a massive music nerd and a massive like fanatic about how I play Rainbow Six. I really care about, doing everything I can. I really love audio. I don't use an equalizer. Why not? Because I don't think it's really important, and I'm happy playing sound the way the game is intended and the way it's produced. What's actually even more important than having some kind of equalizer is the headphones you're using. So if you're using like really cheap $5 earbuds, they're probably not going to have very good frequency response. They're probably going to really just center around the high mids and maybe the high frequencies, but they probably won't have very high frequencies, like in the 10K plus range, in hertz, and they probably won't have anything a very good frequency response in the low end either. So you don't want something that's super boosted in the bass, which is what I think a lot of people maybe, became a bit of a trend to listen to music with bass boosted. Like if you're driving past someone in the car and just hear oomps, 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 that's not really going to give you a good idea of the sound as well, because that's going to drown out everything else. So what you really want is a balanced frequency response. So headphones that give you a fairly accurate portrayal of the original sound that you're meant to be hearing. So I've had really good experience with the HyperX ones, as well as several other headphones that I've used in the past. The key for me is just having a balance, rather than it feeling really like, if something's really bassy, you will feel like it's really woofy and boomy. And if you're using cheap headphones that maybe aren't over ears or aren't very high quality, it's probably going to be very hissy, and you're not going to be able to hear any of the low frequencies. If someone's in a room opposite you, you might not hear those low frequency footsteps. Yeah,
and something that I've found is a really good indicator for whether something is too high on like the frequencies I'm getting is sometimes after a while you get, I think it's called ear fatigue or hearing fatigue. Like you take your headphones off and you kind of like, my ears feel a bit weird. I mean, that could be that it's too loud, but I've found it when like high frequencies are too noticeable that I get that weird feeling in my ear. And same with like the bass. Like if it's just so loud and explosive and just oofy, again, my ears feel a little bit fatigued. So that's how I've often found like the balance of sound is just like, can I sit here with headphones on for 3-4 hours and not feel fatigued in my ears?
I think you bring up a really important thing, which is just the volume that we listened at as well. Now, so the HyperX ones, we've got volume dial on the back. You might see me touch that up and down during the game. And I honestly, I will turn it down if I feel like, I don't need the sound as loud right now. I'm happily getting all the sound cues just fine. Then, if you're playing for a couple of hours, you might feel like maybe, you really want to try hard in one bit and you're like, okay, I'm going to turn up the sound a bit and I can hear a bit better. I can hear a bit more. And later on, maybe you don't need that and you don't feel that. And, our ears get more sensitive and less sensitive at different times of the day. And depending on the environment we're in, like if you're in a really loud environment, you're going to need to listen to something louder to be able to hear it well, but then you have to be careful because you don't want to do ear damage. But if it's the dead of night and you're not doing anything outside of playing games, you can probably have it pretty quiet because your ears will adjust and be able to relatively appreciate the sounds, even though it's quieter because your ear is becoming more sensitive.
Yeah, 100%. It's something that I don't know whether you'd say I learnt it the hard way, but certainly I have had my encounters with incredibly loud music at concerts, for example. I can still remember one particular time I went to this concert and I was there and they started playing and I was just like, this is certainly too loud for my ears. They already hurt. And I didn't sit there, but I was there for a whole hour listening to this set. And then when I left, it felt like I could almost hear nothing else.
You get so you hear it, you just hear that hissing in your ears.
Yeah.
It's very serious thing. I studied music. I went to university for music. In all of the band practice rooms, there was a I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a dB meter on the wall, so it would tell you how much sound is what the volume is of the sound in that room, right? So there was a level, and it said if it's in the red zone, you will get kicked out of this practice room because this is dangerous to yourself. And so, that's when you would be like, all right, guitarist, crank down a little bit there, mate. It's not your solo right now. You can turn that down. The bassist would be like, oh, okay, I guess I'll go down too. And maybe you'll chuck an extra pillow in the kick drum or something. And yes, it's really important for the longevity of your ears. And also, like I said, if you listen to stuff quieter, your ears will adjust and become more sensitive. And if you listen to stuff too loud, then your ears will just desensitize.
Yeah. So super important. Yeah, super important to get that balance. Because you don't want to be older and kicking yourself that you didn't respect your ears earlier.
I actually have a really good question in chat here from G Dernota, and I apologize if I say that incorrectly, but how loud do you have voice chat on? I can't seem to find the balance of hearing my teammates clearly and hearing the game noises. This is a really, really good question, and
It's a
one
tough
that
one.
I personally fight with all the time.
Yeah.
And I'll be playing with people that I play with, every week, and I'll still like crank them up or crank them down depending on, maybe I just feel like they're too loud right now, and it's a very hard balance. And there's the in-game volume slider, as you're showing as well, Raven.
Yeah, that's definitely like one way to control it. If it's pure in-game, obviously if you're using a program like Discord, well, you do have different volume sliders. But yeah, it is very tough to find a balance on this. It's going to depend on your equipment, but also your teammates' microphones. They might be incredibly sensitive, so they're really loud for you. But somebody might be using a microphone that's just like perched, I don't know, a meter away. And you could barely hear them. And I mean, you can never really account for that sometimes. It's just about finding a good middle ground where you can still hear the loud people without it really hurting your ears. But also that you can hear those quiet people without you having to like either strain or just mute them because you're like, I don't know what they're saying. I can't hear them at all.
And sometimes it's not just about pure volume that relates to how well you hear someone, especially when it comes to dialogue, when it comes to people talking. There are a lot of factors involved. One of the things that I think is most underappreciated is reverb. So right now I'm using this microphone right here, and it's about 5-10 centimeters from my mouth. I'm speaking directly into the sensitive part of that microphone. If I go and put this microphone over here and I start speaking, like, can you even hear me anymore, Raven?
I could kind of hear you, but it sounds like you're on the other side of the room.
I'm on the other side of the room right now. I'm holding it, my microphone facing away from me, but I'm also holding it towards some flat walls. I'm gonna
oh my gosh,
now so you can actually hear me. All right, so I'm also holding it next to some flat walls. Now I've got this lovely backdrop right here, which is soaking up some of the reflections. But if my voice is reflecting off, a tin can or a blank wall, and I don't have any paintings or any carpet or any curtains, then those sound waves are going to be bouncing all over the shop. And you're going to hear that. It's going to get picked up by the microphone, those reverbs. It's going to sound really echoey, and it's going to become really difficult to actually understand what that person's saying. So me and Raven play with someone who actually had this problem quite a lot, and we would often not understand what he's saying, but it wasn't a volume problem. It was just a distance from his microphone problem. And as soon as he started, okay, he's like, okay, is this better now? And we were like, yes, it's perfect. We had to turn him down a little bit because his volume was all right. It wasn't Guz, Blue Panda. It wasn't Guz. And once he spoke a bit closer to his microphone, it was all sweet and dandy. So keep that in mind. Maybe if your teammates are saying that they have trouble understanding you, it's not necessarily about just cranking up the volume, because then you're just going to hear those reverberations louder and you're still not going to be able to understand the words.
Yeah, it's always a good exercise too if you have a friend that like moves house and they're in a new room all of a sudden and you start playing games with them again, you'll notice they sound different. And they might be using the exact same setup that they had in their old house, but because of the room and maybe lack of furniture, like Dev said, those sound waves are going to be bouncing around. It's going to sound completely different. So, important things to consider is just your surroundings as well. On top of that, you don't actually have to be eating your microphone. I'm not going to demonstrate. I did think about cranking my gain and getting very close, but I didn't want to subject people to that.
No, we could do all kinds of things to demonstrate what not to do, but I think for your sake, guys, we're just not going to do it. But yeah, so I guess that does segue into something else. When it comes to voice communications, make sure that you've set up your microphone correctly. You mentioned gain, Raven. If your microphone is set up too sensitive, then you're going to be speaking even at an acceptable volume. It's going to be too sensitive, and you're going to be sounding distorted, and it's going to be really, really horrible to listen to. So I would recommend that make sure you and all the people you play with have their microphones set up correctly so that there's not too much distortion, but also it's sensitive enough to pick you up as well. I also am just so aware that, Raven, we could probably do like an entire series on sound. Like, we are so nerdy at this. I feel bad for anyone who's falling asleep right now, so maybe we should keep moving.
Yeah, we'll get into some more in-game stuff. Let's just go into... We could probably do training grounds, I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea.
Better invite you. Oh, no,
Please
this is the first time that I've invited anybody using Ubisoft Connect. Of course, the update was last night. Have not done this yet.
It's changed a few times. I admit I have not played since it changed this way. I think you can type in my name, and after the search finishes, it should,
I think
set up.
I think if you have a lot of friends, the friends list is a little slow to load the first time or something. Because earlier
Yes.
it was working for me, but now it's taking its time. I don't know. Unless you've got it open, you can invite me.
I'm trying. I have a lot of friends. Not trying to flex or anything.
Of course you
I
are.
also have a lot of like just pending notifications as well that I haven't like dismissed. So
Jeez.
my menu is very
There you
messy.
go. I've got you.
Wonderful. All right.
Is this the invite? I assume this is invite. Invite sent. There we go.
Oh. I don't see it yet.
Hopefully it's coming.
We'll get there. We'll get there. So why don't we just touch on what we're gonna talk about in game in a second.
Yeah.
So once we get into this training grounds, going through our list, propagation. Maybe we should explain propagation first.
Yeah, can you get into sound propagation? For anyone that doesn't understand what we mean by sound propagation, it's the path in which the sound travels to you. So it might be a gun being shot 20 meters away. Like, how exactly is that getting to you? That's kind of the point of propagation.
Why don't you start explaining that in your own training grounds without me while I figure out what's wrong with my overlay?
I will when my overlay decides to close, because right now it actually
Okay.
doesn't want to close. Here we go. It closed.
Hey,
Alright.
got it. All right, so you can do the lone wolf one, and we'll see how that goes.
Cool. All right. I will load in. Training grounds is also just a great way to test sound in general as well. When I've always been getting new headsets and stuff, I will go into training grounds and I'll just run around and I'll maybe wait for a terrorist to walk towards me and I'll be gauging how well I can hear their sounds, their footsteps and that kind of thing. Cool. All right. So I'll need to get inside and into some rooms so I can show some things. Okay, so for sound to travel to me right now in the middle of this room, it's not just a matter of the sound arriving to my ears, right? In this game, it will go through the shortest distance. So if there was an enemy out in this hallway, let's say here, and I was to hear him, that sound is going to travel in through the doorway. So it will sound like he's here, even though he's over on the side. That's just the way the sound works. So you might get confused by that in some occasions, and there's other parts to maps that do get confusing. A good example is Villa. There is an open gap here, and people often get confused. Where are the enemies in this section? Because you will start to hear sounds above you because it's an open area, right? So if there's somebody standing right next to this, you will hear that like they're right next to you because the sound is just coming straight down to you. It might sound like it's somebody that's in this room. So that can be a little bit tricky to differentiate between. But you can use this to your advantage. So I'm not going to go in that room because they've decided to barricade everything. So for example, if I was to try and hold an angle here, but I wanted to know if I was getting flanked, a nice little trick that you could do is maybe just hit a hole here. And that sounds weird, you're not actually trying to hold this angle. But what happens is it creates a passage for the sound to travel to you. So if there's somebody in this corner here, the closest path to you inside this room is now through this hole and not through the doorway. So you will start to hear sound from this direction a lot easier because it's traveling through that hole. So that's where propagation is your best friend and you can really use it to your advantage. Same with ceilings. If I was to open a hole, I really hope this is a destructible thing. I cannot remember what.
It is.
It is. So now with this open, I will start to hear sounds above me a lot clearer because instead of them just being muffled because they don't really have a direct path, I have a direct path of sound now. So on the other side of that doorway that you can see the frame for, if somebody starts walking across there, I will hear it really clear. And it's because I've opened the gap in the floor. So that's something you can always think about because there are definitely ways that you can ensure that you hear things clearer without having to rely on a longer path. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I agree. And it's also interesting the way that, in particular through walls it passes as well. So you've done some punch holes. Once I can get into the server, I don't know whether it might work now. I actually alt-tabbed and deleted a bunch of notifications through the app itself. So maybe that worked. I'll try and invite you now. I think I can find you.
See if... Sorry, I was going to say, I'll see if I can get an example. I think there's some players, or some enemies in dining room. So, if I just...
Oh, I got your invite.
See, I don't know if anybody can notice, but I feel like I can hear somebody so much more obviously in dining. I really hope there's somebody near dining right now. Is it laundry
that's a
that I'm
fun
hearing?
game we can play. Like, we can play like hide and seek, where I have to like make some noise and you have to come find me.
Villa just bamboozled me.
What do you think you heard?
It sounded like somebody was just like shuffling their feet nearby, but I think what I'm hearing is somebody like up here.
Oh right.
And again, it's because of this passage. It's traveling to me through this doorway, so it sounds close, but they're actually upstairs.
That's why it's really important to be aware of like how the map is and where the different pathways that sound can travel.
Oh.
And sometimes it's a combination of good hearing and like understanding the map that kind of team together to let you understand where sound is coming from. I'm trying to invite you right now, but it's not working. It's telling me to remove you from my friends list.
Don't remove me.
I want to do that. Yeah, I don't know. It would make this episode quite difficult.
A little bit. Yeah, so I mean, like, I'll try and demonstrate situations, right? So if I'm on this side of the wall, I wish they didn't reinforce all that. I can hear a guy right near this doorway.
The reinforcement can help out, yeah, because of the bit at the top.
I don't have a breach charge, but
you can shoot one hole. So he's suddenly Raven's suddenly going to hear way better through that wall because there is that hole at the top.
Yeah. He stopped moving, this enemy, so we can't really. What if I flash? Is he gonna run? Oh, I just heard him take a step. Like, I don't know how much this comes through on stream, but it was very obvious that this enemy was running towards the doorway, for me at least, as I was listening to that. And I was trying to say nothing because I really wanted to come through on stream. But
well, I
yeah,
can't vouch because I don't get sound through your screen share.
Oh yeah, you don't, do you? Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, like, again, experiment with stuff like this. If you really are struggling to hear the source of somebody, or you just want to better hear somebody sneaking up on you, for example, again, like, you might be holding an angle here. That's a dead body. For some reason I thought they were alive. You might hit this, so instead of the sound having to travel all the way through the bedroom to this door, it's just going to come through the hit hole. And so you'll just start to hear those sounds sooner.
That said, sounds do travel differently through different size holes. For example, one punch hole is not the same as if you create what's called an impulse, which is if you put enough bullets in a wall that it actually, a whole panel breaks away, like you've done there. That will have a lot more sound travel through it. So if you want a little bit of sound to propagate, you can just do a punch hole. People often use this. So one application, for example, is bandit juggling, which is where, or I get even impact tricking, just trying to hear whether someone is putting some kind of hard breach, like an exothermic charge or an ace Selma on a wall so that you can destroy that with whatever utility. You might actually put some holes in the wall, maybe above the wall or before you reinforce it, and that might help the sound propagate so you can hear through as well.
Yeah, like you might have seen people before they reinforce walls, they will shotgun big holes in it and then they'll reinforce it. There's a couple of purposes for that, but at least the original purpose of that, and the most prominent still probably, is the sound propagation. Is you'll get more sound come through that wall, and if you're trying to bandit trick, it can be really helpful because you'll hear where the charge is being placed, so you can easier trick it easier. English.
We got a question in chat. Does that hit hole, do you get any sound from a single bullet hole? Now, I don't think so. I don't think a single bullet hole will actually have sound come through it.
No, I'm pretty sure it doesn't. It's like what Dev was saying before. The size of the hole does matter. I don't think a bullet hole is enough. Oh, there's another guy there. I don't think a bullet hole is enough to propagate sound. Honestly, I haven't tested it, but I'd be quite surprised if you now get clearer sound through that. I don't think any enemies are going to walk towards me, but yeah, I really don't think that cuts it.
No.
Barricade is a good example. Another example of clearing things to hear better. Some people might wonder why you see high level players just do that, right? It's not actually to pick out the hole, it's to break the glass, because the glass blocks sound propagation on the other side. So now you can hear somebody repel a lot easier.
Yeah, and in fact, if you have the barricade completely torn down, but there's still the glass there, that glass is going to block out a lot of sounds, and it's going to be really hard to hear things on the other side. So the glass is actually one of the strongest, what's the word? Stoppers of sound, I guess. One of the strongest materials that stop sound in Siege. It's programmed that way. So yeah, definitely I would be aware of glass. And if there's let's say a window that's really important, you want to make sure you're aware that if someone's outside that window, maybe you should just put a couple of shots through the window to destroy the glass, even if you don't want to destroy the barricade itself.
Yep.
Muffler, there you go. Thank you for that.
Muffler. So here's another example. If I was to break down this, like Dev was saying before, that glass is still up. So actually a lot of the sound on the other side is still being completely muffled by this glass. So this, I mean, you can use this to your advantage in one way. If a player approaching from that wall, for example, they might be listening for a sound cue. They might be able to hear you shuffling at this window if the glass is broken. So you could just use this and wait for them to come around and then shoot them. But 9 times out of 10, it's really good to make sure that the glass is gone because you'll want that sound.
Yeah. It's really a question of whether you want the sound to be able to use for yourself or whether you want to deny the sound to be used by the enemy. So for example, if you want to jump out a window, you might destroy the barricade or put 2 hits in the barricade and leave that glass intact so that you're going to be harder to hear if you walk up to that window ready to jump out.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Anything else on propagation? Did I miss anything with propagation?
I think that's basically all of it, but at least all of it that I can that we can explain without me in a lobby. Why don't you try and see if we can get me in the lobby as well?
I can. Part of me wants to finish this tea. Villa definitely is a pain though. Oh well, sometimes he's like just AWOL. You know, like I've been in every room, right? Where is this guy? See, often, actually, this is a good point. Like, I don't know if you guys just noticed that I just stopped. I was literally stopping to see if I could hear him. Because that's often what you can do with the Last Terrorist, is like, sometimes they'll start to push you. So I'll just stand still and I'll listen. And I'm like, okay, where is this guy coming from?
It's good practice, isn't it?
Yeah. Alright, we'll try to get you in lobby this time.
Would be nice. Yeah, let's give it a crack. I cleaned up my friends list a bit.
Nice.
A little bit.
Nice.
Removed some notifications.
Alright. So I'll invite you.
Yep.
It's a little slow on the search bar.
This.
I just typed... Oh, there we go. I can see you.
Alright.
Invite sent.
Invite sent. Let's see if I can find it. Raven casts. Is there any...
A dash after my name.
Alright.
Now I just gotta wait for my overlay to disappear. This is what happened before. It's like it just kind of stayed up for a little while.
It says you're not my friends for some reason. I just had to add you to friends. It says sent requests.
What? Is it definitely me?
Yep, your profile picture.
But we're friends on my list.
You weren't in my friends list though.
Did it auto accept, or do I have to accept it?
I'm not quite sure. I might reboot my Ubisoft Connect or something.
Okay, give that a crack.
You're gonna have to bear with me. Maybe do another T hunt and go over some other things.
Okay, all right. I'm just seeing if I've got any notifications. Doesn't look like I do. Yeah, I don't know. This is the first time I've looked at this overlay, so I'm not even sure where the notifications pop up.
Yeah, there are a few kinks, but we're getting.
Is it feed? Is that where they pop up?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
All right.
I turned off the in-game notifications, so it's not like popping up in the corner. So I had to like scroll over to your name, and then it would come up with accept.
Right.
So yeah,
cool.
you could do another thing.
Okay.
In the middle.
I'll do another thing. Wait for my overlay to disappear. All right. Cool. What was next on the list? By any chance?
Propagation above or below materials and sound cues. Feel free to go for any of those.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, a good thing about Siege, again with the sound, is you can slightly tell the difference between sounds above and below you. And some people get a little bit confused. Like you might be standing in a room and you can hear sounds, and maybe it sounds like they're like in the room next to you, because it's really loud, right? If you just base it purely on volume, it's really loud. But there's an indicator for how they're above you. Let me just make sure I'm not going to die. Get into kitchen. Okay, there's a guy in the other room. But if there was somebody walking above me, there's a very distinct muffled sound. Again, okay, muffled's going to be the hot word of the night right now. But you can just tell it's muffled and it's very low. So it's like what we were talking about earlier with like low frequencies. It's like very low on the spectrum. And if you can't just instinctively tell it's above you, that is the way that you can tell that a sound is coming from like a floor above you, is that it's just like this low, muffled, like thud, 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 like a footstep. Even like a breach charge being placed above you will have this like muffled, deeper sound. So that's one way to tell somebody's above you. Below, I mean, I don't believe there's a direct path. Like if the role was reversed right now, there's no direct path for sounds to go upwards, from what I understand.
Yeah, it's a bit harder, I think, because if you think about it this way, right? When someone steps on the floor, or like let's say on the floor above you, when someone is going plonk, 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 that sound is then getting absorbed by the floor, which is then relative to the person underneath. Like if the floor is here, right? If you're standing underneath, that floor isn't very far from you. But now, think of someone's walking on the floor below, this floor rather, is now reverberating. If you're on the next floor above them, that floor down here is actually like this other floor is in the way, if that makes sense. I feel like I need to draw a diagram to explain that one. But there's technically like an entire extra floor / ceiling in the way when you're trying to listen to sound downwards. So it's actually easier to hear stuff above you than below you. Much easier.
Yeah, so that's pretty important for like hearing vertical sounds. And that's how you know.
But if you make a hole in the floor, you'll be able to definitely hear below you.
Yes. So it's like I was saying before on Villa, if you just shoot open a hole, yeah, you will hear footsteps below much easier. Or like, again, subtle sound cues. If someone's prone and shuffling around on the ground, you will hear that much clearer with that hole open. If you don't have the hole open, I don't think you'll even hear it.
I think that's definitely.
So just now, I can hear footsteps above me. I don't know if you guys can hear that. It's like doof, 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 because there's a terrorist shuffling. And yeah, if you get really good at interpreting the sound in the game, you will be able to figure out where exactly they're standing. If they're moving often enough. Right now, this enemy is not moving very much. I don't know. I was pretty close. I think he's like there. I don't know. I'll go up there. He's gonna move.
He's gonna, yeah. Stay.
Oh, he's this side.
There you go.
So he was like here, maybe.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, that's not a bad guess, right?
But yeah. That's helpful for C4s. Most importantly, I mean, like the Ash charge would have killed or not killed unless it was pretty direct. If he was here and that was a C4, maybe would have survived, but very low HP.
Yeah. one example of how I've used this in game was actually just yesterday. I was playing it at Cocktail, so on the far east side of this top floor, and I heard someone above me. Now I know that this is the top floor of the map, so he's got to be on the roof. And that gave me some really valuable information that I could call out to my team. I knew there was one on the roof still. And knowing that there was one on the roof meant that I knew that, like, if there was only, let's say there's only 2 players left on the enemy team. If I hear one on the roof, and we know that there's one in one of the other rooms next to me, I know that that second person is alone, and maybe we can go, I can take a teammate, and we can take them out, and we know that the other guy's on the roof not helping. So really good ways that you can use that information to your advantage. And it's not just about trying to get a kill onto that person above you, but it might actually just be able to say, okay, I know that person's up there, don't worry about him, let's go and fight this other person because we know that they're alone.
So right now I just wanted to demonstrate as well just what we were saying earlier. Like, I can hear footsteps. I'm sure you guys can hear this too. But again, if you think about the way propagation works, if you're trying to figure out where this person is, I mean, obviously position is one thing. So if I was to stand like this, I would hear mostly the sound in my left ear cup. And hopefully you guys hear it in your left speaker or whatever. And then, because it's pretty loud, based on distance, it's probably coming from this doorway. So I can now conclude there's a guy in freezer or in backstore. So you might decide to, I don't know, just straight peek it and then, okay, cool, there's a guy there. And now I know, like, there's a guy there. If that was a more distant sound, and maybe if I kill this guy, we will get a more distant sound. Yeah, I was about to call out, there's a guy in Cocktail, but then he peeked anyway.
And another one in freezer.
Another one in freezer. Yeah. I want them both to move at the same time. And again, I don't know how much of this comes through, but I can generally hear when these guys are trying to make a move. I'm not sure if this is still this guy in Cocktail. No, I can't hear anything. If I just sit here awkwardly, by the way, it's because I'm trying to listen.
I feel like ironically, this episode probably has a lot of silence in it in terms of not talking because we're trying to let you guys hear the sounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm back in the game if you want to give it another crack.
Okay, cool.
Finish.
Yeah.
When you're ready. Whenever you're ready.
I just heard an interesting sound. Can we hear it again?
What?
Okay, so again, I can hear footsteps. And it gets confusing in stairwells, right? Because sometimes you're not sure if they're, like, below. He's definitely coming out of washroom. There we go. Oh, there's another guy there. What I wanted to explain, though, is that sometimes if you're not really sure, you can do the sit and listen thing from different positions. And then that will get you, like, a position. So, I don't know, I initially heard it in my right ear cup. If I do this, I'll start to hear it much more behind me, maybe even just my left ear cup. So now I know, okay, he's over here. You can definitely do, like, I don't know what you're going to call them, like a sound test. But that is certainly one way you can try and pinpoint.
That's actually a really important point. Like, I've definitely understated, I think, is just how important stereo is. The fact that, you know, we as humans, we are stereo beings. We have 2 ears. So the fact that we have 2 ears means that we can triangulate sound. And this is just something that we do naturally. We've learned how to do it through evolution, is that we have 2 essentially microphones, and they hear sounds at different volumes and at different timings, and that allows our brain, which we don't even think about this, but our brain will just triangulate that sound. So that's when you're like, I think there's someone there, or I know there's someone behind me. Just your brain all does it without you thinking about it. But if you understand what's happening, then it actually lets you better interpret it when it's coming through a speaker that's just attached to your ear, like you're playing a game. So if you hear a sound exclusively coming from your right ear cup in game, that means they're probably dead right. If they're mostly coming from your right ear cup, but they're like a little bit coming through your left, it means they're probably in front and to your right, or behind and to your right.
That's it. Did you get my invite, by the way?
I'm gonna have a look. Bear with me. I'm opening the overlay.
Excellent. If you click on the banner here and go My Invitations, is that potentially the easiest way? I just clicked. Oh, nice.
Waiting. Hey, it's open. All right. So feed, you reckon, is the way to go?
I'm not sure if it's feed, because when I opened feed, it was my friends completing challenges.
Interesting. I'm clicking on feed now. We'll see what it says. Because before, like, it doesn't. There's no like notifications tab like there used to be. I think that's what the feed tab is.
Yeah.
So I scroll down. This is more like a Ubisoft Connect tutorial. It's more like a
Yeah.
Discover like an unboxing, Ubisoft Connect unboxing.
Yeah.
Oh, this is friends completing challenges. I don't see your notification.
Okay.
So I am gonna go back to the friends. So what I did is I scrolled through my friends and I found you, and there was a little thing under your listing that said, "Has invited you to a game."
Ah, okay. Cool.
This is definitely the impromptu tutorial that we hadn't expected, but I think people in chat are actually going to appreciate this. So guys, I'm going to take whatever learnings I get out of this experience of my first ever trying to use the new overlay, and I'll see if I can relay that to you guys. There you go. So guys, to find invitations, if you don't have the in-game notification, so I don't have an in-game notification, so it doesn't pop up, you go to your friends list and you scroll down to find the friend who has invited you, and that's where the invite is. I have now clicked accept.
Hey, I'm excited to see your little box pop up in my friends list, or in my party, I should say.
What?
Suntiem?
What?
Suntiem? Hey!
Yeah!
Awesome.
On the back of that one.
Good job. Good job. All right.
Done it.
Training grounds or custom?
Yes. Either or. Maybe if we go bomb training grounds, it means that it won't end prematurely because you just get infinite time.
All right. I'll change my settings.
No, surely we'll pull in Guz and get multiple audio interactions going. Look, guys, we need to appeal to the masses, and the masses, they just can't handle Guz. It's too swaggerlicious for them.
It's true. Squad.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, the potentials for how much we can demonstrate now is just increased
so much easier.
exponentially.
I don't have to rely on a terrorist walking at me down a hallway or like that.
Yeah. All right, and we haven't even touched on some of the big ones. Like, I think one that could take a long time to explain is the sound cues themselves, so just the variety of sound cues. So I feel like that's a fairly elementary one. So maybe we should touch on that. What are all the different sound cues that we could possibly have?
Yeah, and look, there's a lot to it. I'm just thinking Nomad's actually going to be pretty helpful because air jabs will make sound, constant sound that we can use. I think to try and reel off some of the most important sound cues that you can learn or listen out for, reload, I think, is a really important one. The sound of going on like your drone or cameras, also really important. And then, I mean, everything to do with footsteps, and that's starting to really blanket something here, but and something we haven't talked about yet is materials. Like if you really want to get nerdy with sound, like your feet make different sounds depending on what you walk on. So you can tell, like, I'm walking on snow, and now I'm walking on the concrete, and you can hear the differences. And you can apply that to your enemies. So let's just pretend there was like a wall in the middle of us. If Dev was to start looking at me, and I knew what the map was like, I'd be like, okay, he's on the concrete, now he's on the snow. And that can kind of give you that info of exactly where they are without you seeing it. But it's all just through that sound cue of like the different materials.
One great example of how I actually use that technique is when I'm walking around trying to be sneaky, and if there's let's say a wooden hallway, this is a great map we can get inside in a minute, but when there's a hallway with wooden or concrete floor, but there's a tarp or some carpet, you'll notice that when you walk along the carpet, it makes a very different sound than when you walk along the wood, and actually a much quieter sound. So if you're trying to be sneaky, actually keep in mind what surface you're walking on. And let's say there's a carpet, like a pathway of carpet and some wooden pathways. Follow the carpeted pathway, you're going to make less sound. So yeah, something to keep in mind. Why don't we go, what I would say is one of the most important ones, which is, as you said, the drone. So the observation tools. So firstly, the sound of someone throwing a drone. I'll do that for you guys so you can hear that. Obviously, it depends on what surface the drone lands on, but I'll just throw it onto the snow here and you guys can listen. So there's the sound of the impact and the sound of me actually throwing it are quite different. And then these two sounds coming up are some of the most important ones. The sound of someone getting on and off their observation tools. And you can use this to get the drop on unsuspecting opponents and know when it's not safe to peek. So listen here.
Yeah.
So when you get it on, when you get like the observation tool out,
it's a little more high pitched.
Yeah, you hear that like clicking sound. It's like the kind of his hands like slapping the little phone or whatever it is. And when he gets off, you
It's
hear
funny the
that
gun
kind of
come
like,
out.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. But you hear like the high pitched whirring as well. It's like when you get out the observation tool, it's like a whoop, and when you put it away, it's like a whoo. It's actually quite hard to hear, but try listen again. I don't know if you guys can hear that. I don't know what it sounds like to you guys. It's a bit different on my end because I am the player doing that. But yeah, if you can differentiate those two sounds, and you can know when like an enemy is doing that. So for example, why don't you stand over here, and I'll stand around the corner, and I'll get on and off, and you tell me which I'm doing.
I won't look at you. Okay, you're on.
All right. Yeah, well, you're gonna know which one I'm. All right,
How
what you
about
gotta do
I'll take
first
my
is-
headphones off for like 5
okay.
seconds, and then you can go into a state, and then we'll start.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So if you wanna wave when you're ready, I'll put my headphones
All
back
right, all right, that's all right.
on. Okay.
Now the real party starts, guys. Just you and me. We got rid of him. No, I'm joking. You can put him back on again.
I like that you talked over it just in case I could still hear.
No, he doesn't even know that we were bullying him. That's just between you and me, chat.
Oh jeez.
All right, are you ready, Raven?
All right, let's go. That was pulling your weapon out.
Yeah.
Now back on your observation tool.
Yep. Well, obviously you now know which state
Yeah.
I'm up to, but you got it straight away. Now, what was it? Was it just experience? You just know what it sounds like?
I mean, like, yeah, I know what it sounds like because I guess I've played the game a lot, but I can just tell it's like just the action of pulling. I think it's the gun out that makes the most sound. It's just like this, like deep, like. Yeah, I don't know how to describe it. Hey, but like it's kind of like what you said. It's like the sound just goes like in this dip, like I don't know. Yeah, it's like a dip in the sound. You can just tell. But when you pull out your observation tool, it is noticeably just like a higher pitch. Yeah.
Yeah. That sound of getting the weapon out is definitely like a sound that you need to know. And if you hear someone get the weapon out, maybe you don't push them. If you hear someone get on their observation tool, no observation tools remain on. Maybe you think, oh, okay, I can get him exactly. So that's a really good.
Obviously works for defense as well, by the way. This is not attacker specific. Defenders get on and off their cameras, so.
That's why I was calling it the observation tool, because obviously the defenders and the attackers both have access to that. And yeah, okay, so why don't we move in? Do we want to talk about some other sound cues?
Well, I was going to say a very similar sound cue, if we just listen, is ADS, right? It's a similar path where like you activate ADS, slightly higher pitch. It's like that sound, and then you come off it. It's like a sound.
Yeah.
Terrible
like
reproductions by me, but
it's like going into ADS is a starts low and ends high, and it's the reverse of getting off. It's very very similar, like I was saying. It's like for the drones, it's like a wind up versus a wind down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys can hear that.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if you can how well you can hear it when I'm doing it, because obviously that's in first person. It's quite different when someone else is doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely hear that.
Yeah, I mean, it shows that like if you're in a clutch situation, 1 versus 1, and someone's around the corner from you, don't go shuffling around, don't go crouching and uncrouching, proning, right clicking, right clicking again. Like don't. Yeah, everything you do makes noise. What do you want? What am I watching? Says someone in chat. You are watching two grown men talk about how sound propagates in a video game. Welcome. I hope you enjoy your time.
I've seen pro players before too. It hasn't happened much, but they've even baited somebody with like the ADS sound just by like doing this spam sound, because it sounds like, I don't know, they're doing something else, but they're literally just here ready, and then they can take the shot. I don't know, it's just little things like that.
Cheeky. That is cheeky. What am I doing here? Let's break this. That's another important sound, actually. The sound of a barricade getting hit versus getting destroyed completely and falling apart. Obviously, falling apart, when you break a barricade fully and it comes down, it makes a much louder sound, and it makes a much longer sound. So that's definitely an important one. If you hear that, then you should know... Oh, the guy just decided to follow us in here. If you hear that, you know that someone's probably going to be running out on you. Why don't we see if we can just like get rid of some of these bad guys, and then we can move on to maybe some other sounds. You can experiment now here with walking on the marble floor.
Oh yeah.
Versus on the carpet.
Again, it's the footstep sound that you got to hear, not the actual like operator running. And I think that's something that some people struggle to differentiate as well. Is like some people say, "Oh, this sounds the same," but you have to listen to the actual sound that the feet make, not like the actual movement sound. I don't know if I can explain that better, but you can tell it's softer on the carpet, and now we're on the tiles, and it's like a clackier sound.
Yep. And good, interesting question in chat, something I hadn't thought of. Could it be worth using a Maverick torch to break barricades? And that's a really interesting question. I am down. Whoops, I didn't know there was a C4 there.
C4.
See, if I had been listening better, I would have heard that C4. Hey. The Maverick torch to get barricades actually not a bad idea. That could work. I haven't seen people use that because, of course, he has a limited amount of ammo, so you might not want to waste it just breaking a barricade. But it could be a sneaky technique to maybe get in somewhere without people hearing. Once we make the area safe, what would be cool is we play a bit of hide and seek, where like maybe I'll go on a different floor to you and make some noise, and you see if you can figure out where I am.
Okay.
Let's get rid of some of these bad guys first.
Once we kill, I honestly don't play bomb that much for terrorist hunt or training grounds. Once we kill them all, yeah, they don't spawn until you plant the bomb, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're probably gonna get them all before I get up here.
I can't find any more unless there are more bar. Yep, there are indeed. Alright, let's finish off these cheeky people. Whoop.
Oh, there's another guy here. I think that's it.
I think that's everyone. Unless I didn't go through the library? No, we did. Yeah, we should be swell. Alright, wonderful. Well, do you want to do the through floor one?
Sure. So.
Alright, why don't you go to the kitchen?
Go to kitchen?
Alright.
Yeah. So what am I going to try and do? I've got my outlines on.
Oh, true. Can you turn them off?
Yes. Yes, I can.
I'm going to have to drop the diffuser as well.
We've lost the diffuser. Go back and retrieve the device.
You're still going to get the operator logo though, right?
I'll get something.
We're going to have to be on different teams. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, we'll have to do it in a custom game.
Yeah, we can do the custom game. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's do it. Now, can you end the game rather than leave the game, or we have to win it?
All right. I have to return to menu. Otherwise, we could just die.
That'll break the party. Ah, that's a good idea. That's a great idea.
But then someone will have to be able to.
Oh, that's fine. I can do that very easily. I'm just looking for an excuse to.
I knew you were. I was just sitting here trying to think through it, and you're like, nah. I'll just kill Raven. I'll deal with it.
Easier that way. I know I'll die really quickly against the bots. Look at me! Look at me!
Nice.
Got him. Nailed it. 28. Yep. If there's one thing I'm good at, it is dying.
Oh, the accuracy.
Those T's, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So, why don't we talk about some, because we're not going to be able to show every single sound cue, but why don't we talk about some others that are quite important? So we talked about observation tool, ADSing, moving. Drones are another one. Like the actual movement of drones are really important to be able to distinguish when you're on defense, but also to know what kind of sound you're making when you're on attack using a drone. So maybe you don't use your drone too much, and then if you make too much sound with it, it's probably going to get found.
Yeah. Yeah, and look, I think that's something that some people don't realize is every time you move your drone, even if it's not with like the WASD keys or your left stick, if you're just rotating it, that also makes a sound because the drone's wheels are operating in reverse. It's like how somebody in a wheelchair will turn their wheelchair. They'll pull the wheels in two different directions and that will spin them. It's exactly how the drone works. So even if you're moving it just a little bit, those wheels are turning, that generates a sound, and yeah, your enemy is going to hear that.
Oh. Alright, you can start the game if you want. Oregon's fine. Any map's probably fine. Maybe not coastline. Any big map's probably better.
So Oregon?
Yeah, let's do Oregon.
Alright, well, let's go.
Alright, what we'll do firstly is I'm going to be in somewhere on the second floor, so the top floor near the kids'
Okay.
dorms, the big dorms window, and you're gonna go down into kitchen and see if you can find me.
I'm gonna go buck.
All right, yeah, that's a good idea.
I'll buck out below.
Let's see if I can make varied kind of sounds. Yeah, I'll make a couple of different varied sounds.
Okay.
See if you can hear them.
All right. I might pause music for this so that I can hear.
Oh,
properly.
I forgot we had music on this whole time, haven't we?
Yeah. It hasn't been particularly loud, but
I mean, I trust you. You've been out of here all this, and you're the one listening to the music. All right.
10 seconds to go.
So, you could demonstrate right now the different sounds that happen when you're making a drone. The loudest sound is the sound of a drone landing.
clonk.
That is incredibly loud.
It's very loud.
So yeah, be very careful, and you remember, it doesn't just have to be jumping that makes that sound. It could be you falling off of one object, like going down a stair, or falling off a bookshelf. Yeah, so you need to be very careful.
So
right.
to demonstrate to you as well, that is literally a sound that your drone will make as it turns. Yep. Your opponent will hear that.
And we could almost play the same game in reverse, where I try and find the drone.
Yeah, found it.
I can do that. Make noise. Yeah, I mean, I knew straight away as soon as I walked in here. I heard that, then I left, I looked left, and then I saw the drone.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
With drones as well, I mean, like, if you do want to be a bit sneaky, you can tap the button. It makes little to no sound. Right? Obviously, you're not moving very fast. But if you need to get out of a pickle,
that is quiet.
that's the best way to do it. You'll have to be patient for that, but yeah.
I'll
I'm coming.
help you in. Come on in! Check out my crib. Go downstairs and have a look for me. Can enemies hear you bumping into things? As a drone, yes, because you'll typically like kind of land on the floor or something. But as a person, I do not believe there is an impact sound when you hit an object or move into an object.
There is not an impact sound, but your footsteps will change. So I'm trying to demonstrate that right now for people. You can hear the pattern of the footstep is like very, very drawn out. So I don't know whether that's particularly useful, but there is definitely an indicator. It's just not very clear.
Alright, so just walk through the hallways downstairs and see where you can find me. I'm just walking on the spot, spamming WASD. And I want you to try and find me and then just destroy the floor where you think I am.
I think you're around here.
Oh,
There we go.
there you go. Perfect, Raven. Very nice. I'm interested to see guys watching right now. What did you think? Could you guys hear that? Like, did you agree with Raven? That was very accurate. Now what's actually an advantage to you is that this is going to propagate the sound much more. So if I do the same thing I was doing before,
Super
you're going to
loud.
hear the difference.
It's like very loud. I feel like, yeah, he's near this hole.
Can you even hear a radio? There's a
No.
radio. Yeah, you can't. Interesting.
No.
You can't hear the radio. There's no
Maybe
line of sight.
No, I actually can't hear the radio.
Interesting.
Interesting
The radio's
test.
very loud. All right, I'm gonna try and do another action. I'm gonna be somewhere else. Go near bottom white and see if you can find me.
Are you spamming that?
I'm just picking up and putting down the shield constantly.
This is definitely harder to pinpoint because it's a higher sound that doesn't make much sound on the floor.
Yeah. Interesting. I didn't think that this would be
Keep going, keep going.
that much quieter than the
I'm
footsteps.
thinking like here. No. How close am I?
You're gonna hear me better now.
All right.
You might not be exactly there. You might have to go to the next room.
Oh, there? How close
Yeah.
am I?
You're really close. You can't
It
be-
sounds so. Oh, there you are. Oh, I basically had you with the window shot.
You had 3 around me. Very close. Alright, that was very good. Alright, we
That's
need to
harder
do
to
one
hear.
more. Find a new spot where the floor hasn't been destroyed. Where's the best spot for this? Maybe go lobby, and I'll be in the master bedroom somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna just shoot my weapon, and you're gonna try and find which corner of the room I'm in.
Oh, I did find you.
Right.
I was just on the wrong side of the door frame.
No, that was very accurate there. So it's pretty amazing when you actually put it into practice, like and do a test like this. You're very accurate, Raven. Like I think like you don't usually do this in game, right? You know, you don't usually play the game by just playing buck and walking around trying to see if you
No.
can hear people, right?
No.
But it demonstrates the power of what sound can be used for.
Yeah.
And you might not use it in this exact like clinical example. You would use it in a very similar situation.
And of course, like there's normally competing sounds, right? Like you might hear multiple enemies walking, and you're like, I'm not really sure where either of those guys are, or there's a lot of other sounds, teammates talking, for example. So this was a perfect test. It was a lot easier to pinpoint. I certainly used this though for things like C4s in particular, because C4s do have a bit of a margin for error because of how big they explode. You can just kind of like sit and listen and be like, okay, he's in this corner. I'm going to C4 here. And I don't know, it's like a 50-50 shot that you either get a kill or you don't.
Yeah. I just noticed a question in chat, so come upstairs and we'll show an example of this.
Yep.
Someone said, should the defenders destroy loudspeakers? And a great example is on this bomb site upstairs here in Oregon. This is the loudspeaker I was talking about. Cute little radio, plays a nice little tune. Very annoying if you're trying to defend. Like often I will sit up here or something if I'm defending this bomb site. I would rather be able to hear someone, maybe through the floor below me or through this doorway where we came through earlier. I don't really want to hear that radio, so I'd probably knife it or shoot it at the start of the round. But the answer to should defenders destroy loudspeakers, it's, well, is it inconveniencing you or is it inconveniencing the attack? Because if it's inconveniencing the attack, maybe leave it on. One example of that would be on Clubhouse. There's a big speaker in the bar. Rock Nation. Defenders might actually prefer to leave that on and then force the attackers to shoot it so that the attackers can hear better when they're roam clearing. And then that means that the attackers are going to have to fire a bullet, which then give a sound cue to the defense. So there are some 200 IQ moves there.
That's right. And I would say in most instances, it's probably going to hinder you as a defender because, like this one, for example, it's behind this wall. So I don't know if you guys noticed in chat, but I couldn't really hear the radio until I got to like here-ish. So if you're a defender trying to play in this corner, you're going to be hindered by that radio. The attacker could even just, I don't know, crouch walk to here and then just get the jump on you. So
I might be hearing you, but not the radio.
Yeah, so you really have to consider like position of it as well as a defender.
I've got another cool test that we could do, a cool little game we can do, Raven, that's maybe a bit more of a practical example of the test through the floor. And I'm going to be in a hallway. Now come down to laundry, and we're just going to first quickly show, and we only have 2 minutes left on this round, so let's quickly just show for people who maybe aren't so familiar with Oregon, just through this laundry area. So Raven is going to peek from the bottom of main stairs towards where the bottom floor bomb site would be. So there are a couple of different places defenders can sit. Come here so you can just have a look quickly so that everyone knows. So there's in this corner where the bomb usually is. There's in this corner where the extra dryers are. And then there's the hallway. There's also even potentially someone could be on the other side of this wall with some holes and they could be aiming at you. So what I want you to do is I want you to go back to the main stairs and not see where I go. And I'm going to go in one of those spots. And I'm just going to do some very natural kind of sound cues that would be fairly typical. And I'm interested to see which one, if you can figure out where I am.
All right.
So, all right. You can go now.
Ooh. Hallway? Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Okay.
I was like, I could hear it coming from this side, so I picked that corner first. And then you weren't there, so I was like, you must be hallway. But then I got baffled because I saw the hit holes in the closet.
Yes! See, I deliberately made it hard for you. I made the holes and I put the shield down over here. So the most of the sounds I was doing, if you want to come over here, I can demonstrate. I wasn't doing very much, and I obviously don't know how loud it was for you. The main sound I was doing was throwing the magnets up here.
Okay.
Did you hear that? Was that loud to you?
I definitely heard the magnets being thrown. It was pretty hard to pinpoint exactly where they were. This one, I 100% knew you threw one in this corner though. This was the first one I heard, and I was like, all right, I hear that.
Did you just hear it being active in that corner?
I heard the thunk, like the coof on the wall.
That's interesting. And now that's a piece of information on its own. If you're playing an operator with grenades, now you know, okay, if I throw a grenade, that's where the grenade's going to end up going.
15 seconds left.
The main thing I was doing was I was just aiming down sights, unaiming down sights, and shuffling a little bit while walking. I wasn't moving very much, and yeah,
5
it's
seconds.
cool little real world example. And there you go.
Yeah,
Boom
and it was quite loud too. I mean, like again, I'm not sure what comes through on stream, but for me, that was super loud.
It's obviously your experience may vary depending on whether you're wearing headphones while watching this episode, or whether you're using speakers, or whether you're at your hi-fi PC setup, or whether you're just using some little headphones that you bought for $10. It really depends. I'll just go through our list. Materials is the only thing we didn't really cover. We kind of did.
A little bit. Yeah, I mean, like we talked about carpet and like the tiles and cafe and the snow as well, the concrete.
Do you feel like we're done then? We can move into gameplay whenever you want.
Yeah, look, I think... Just trying to think. Yeah, I think so. There's not much more to say about materials because a lot of that comes down to your map knowledge. Like if you look at my drone, guys, like another example here is if you're hanging around this corner waiting for a defender or attacker, depending who you are, you will hear the difference. There's a wood floor here. It's very obvious. And then there's concrete. They're two very distinct sound cues.
See if you can hear the difference. Say when you think I transition from the wood onto the concrete.
When? Oh.
Yeah, well, it's
I
hard
said
because you can see.
Yeah, it's like
move
your leg
from the
came.
other side, so
Okay.
You can't hear.
All right.
Right.
When?
Yeah, I think there's a bit of delay because of Discord, but yeah,
Probably
no, it's
is.
pretty.
Okay. It's also kind of close to the doorway, so I feel like as soon as you get close to the doorway, I'm just like...
Yeah, it's a question of volume as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Another example is in this room as well. You're not on your drone anymore, but yeah, it
Oh,
doesn't matter.
yeah. I'm not doing
Yeah,
that.
there's concrete just here, and
Yeah.
there's wood over here. Quite a different sound. And then there's this.
There is that.
Ready for the flank of the century. Bow! Bow! What?
Oh no. I've certainly flashed myself. Certainly flashed myself again.
Definitely flashed me as well.
Oh no.
Battle of the century! Oh no! Oh, no. Oh, we both have the same idea with the wallbang. How much health do we have?
I was only 100, I think. Oh my god, what are you on now?
50? I think it's 200. Yeah, I'm on 50. I'm almost out of ammo.
Oh, I missed. Oh,
Yeah.
We have
no.
been eliminated.
Oh jeez,
Were
that
you
was tough.
firing?
No, I wasn't.
You weren't even hip firing. I was hip firing the whole time.
Oh wait, oh no. No way. I was ADS'd.
All right, so gameplay. We can try and demonstrate this in some live gameplay if we play some quick match.
I think, if anything... Oh no, I just left. We're going to have to reparty.
It's all right. I did consider that, but I mean, the only way around that would be to complete that custom game, which is never going to happen.
Yeah, true. Good point.
Good.
No,
I don't think there's a way for me to forfeit.
I'll invite you again.
All right.
Before we do jump into a quick match though, and once I hit invite...
I've invited you.
Oh, you did? Oh, I got it straight away.
Yeah,
Accept.
Demonstrated on stream. The new way to accept invites. There you go, guys.
Look at that. I will quickly draw the first winner of the keyboards.
Oh, that's an excellent idea.
Which you won't see because it's on my other monitor. But see a lot of eligible people in the chat. I will say also, if you have won previously, probably won't send you a second prize. Just so you know. Because you can't hoard it all, right? What were you oohing about, by the way? Is there something?
No, just the giveaways.
Ooh, giveaways. All right. 3, 2, 1. I can't say your name, but congrats. You've won the first keyboard giveaway. I will message you and ensure that you're eligible. Otherwise, if you don't live in Australia or New Zealand, please let me know now, because then I'll just re-roll it.
Congratulations, Pengu is goated 08.
Oh, it is Pengu is good at 08. Okay. I was reading this
I
like...
could tell you thought it was something inappropriate, and I'm like, no, come on, Raven.
No. I thought it was like Penguis goated or something like that, and I'm like, what?
Goated.
Something, yeah, that wasn't gonna work out. Like Pengu was goated, so there we go.
And just leaving back, because we're talking about Ubisoft Connect a lot. Ubisoft Connect actually replied to me on Twitter and said that there's currently a workaround with some of the notification issues. So feel free to check that out if anyone's interested.
Nice.
So you can see that they're very much on top of things.
I just want to defend myself, by the way. I don't have a dirty mind, thank you. I was not reading it like that. So I'm going to put that back on you guys.
I just want to have you.
You guys have dirty minds.
I was going pretty hard on Kate last week, so we don't have a guest I can bully, so I may as well just bully.
It has to be me. Oh, I see how it is.
Chat will get behind me. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Hashtag Team Dev.
Oh, jeez. Look, I'll have to take some of the bully attention away from you for once. It's usually you or Guz in our stack that gets the old bully.
It's true. It's true. Some good old fashioned. So we are now playing, and guess what? We're actually on Oregon, literally the same place where we were. And I have a C4, and you probably have a C4 too.
Sure do.
I say we go downstairs and try and do that thing through the floor. I say we do it.
We can certainly try. That relies on our teammates giving up top floor, though, right?
Yeah,
potentially.
we can just die. No one will mind, right? Surely no one will mind if they just die.
I got a shock drone. Let's go.
Hey, that's pretty pog, as the kids say.
5 seconds left.
Is that what the kids say there?
That so I'm told. I have been informed
Bomb location.
that the kids indeed say.
Sure, mate.
What?
No one spawned junkyard.
All right.
I got another drone.
Nice. All right. Our teammates have no intention of letting us play downstairs.
No.
They
In
wanna
fact,
get
you're not even playing downstairs. I'm calling you out
I'm
right
trying
now.
to put a camera in a light and struggling. So.
Unbelievable.
Oh, hello, Twitch drone.
Oh, I'll put it on Q&A as well. So if anybody does have questions for us about anything, doesn't have to be sound. Feel free to
Anything
shoot.
at all. You want to know what I had for breakfast this morning? Feel free to ask. There's one in the lower stairs, the freezer stairs.
Oh yeah.
And he's giving me a hard time. Oh! I'm not concussed somehow.
I got
Did
him.
you just kill him?
Yeah.
Wow, that is horrendous. That poor guy got absolutely teammated. Ha!
He did, didn't he?
I have a teammate. Oh, there's a new Did they update the it says 4 out of 6 now when you go through cycle through the camera groups?
Oh, only when there's so many. That's been there for a while.
I didn't even realize
But if you have so many different groups, then yeah, it gives you the groups.
I think we're gonna get some oh my
I think
God,
there's a
we have
guy
so
in
much-
Master. Oh yeah,
there
trophy.
There are 2 of them. We have so much info
Hang on,
gathering that we
hang on.
don't.
I got one.
I did not get one.
Unlucky. Oh, you did.
We did, boys.
You downed him in the closet. Look at that.
Oh, I'm so happy. We actually did it, guys. We actually did a practical demonstration of the point of this episode
Yeah.
in a live game. Wow. I feel like it's bad that I'm so surprised, but I'm just genuinely impressed with ourselves, Raven. I did not think we could do it, but do it we did.
Yep. Look, goes to show the power of sound in this game. If you can get used to it, It is great.
I deliberately didn't check my black eye camera that was in that room because I wanted to try and use sound.
Oh yeah, Tachenka reworks out on live build. I totally forgot.
Yes, I have played it. I played it a bunch yesterday. Unfortunately, the first round I played it, my teammates killed everyone, so I didn't get to use it.
Jeez.
The second round, I got pre-fired through a window at the start of the round, so I also didn't get to use it.
Oh man.
But I'm gonna give it another crack. The Tachenka Elite is out as well.
Yes.
I haven't managed to cop that one yet. I don't know if you have, but I'm definitely going to.
No, I haven't. It's the first time I've booted up Siege in a few days. Been busy. But
Busy man working.
I am super excited for the Elite skin. It's probably one of my favorite Elites that's come out in a little while, to be honest. I think it's very cool. And I tell you what, if nothing else sells you on it, the ad should. If you haven't watched the promo video, it's definitely my favorite promo video for an Elite skin.
Absolutely monstrous. It's fantastic. I love it. Yes, we have done the first giveaway already, by the way, for the keyboard. I see a question in chat. What did Baird have for breakfast? My dog Baird had dog food for breakfast. Surprising.
Who would have thought?
That is his usual breakfast. And he also had that for dinner. So there you go. Not as exciting as I think you were hoping.
Be ready for hostile action.
Are we going to see a new team in OCN? Question mark. Are you talking about us? Or do you mean I thought it was a meme about how we're so good with the C4s relegations.
Yeah. Nice. I'm glad that you thought that potentially they were talking about us.
Your location has been compromised.
Where did that person go?
That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, I whiffed.
Oh, spectate me. It's fine.
Yeah.
You can use sound to kill
How
this
are you such low HP already? Oh, Glads.
This guy.
Oh boy. You and your hip fire.
Yeah. And now I'm gonna be a sneaky little something. Try and use my sound. Let's turn up the headphones.
I'll try go on cams.
It's droning me.
Oh, I've got no cameras for you, so I'm just gonna spectate you.
They want above me.
Yeah, they are above you. Surely that's another down. That felt like it would have been close.
Oh, I don't think so. Oh, no! We're at the wrong time. Unlucky. Oh well, now we can spectate our teammates who are going to clutch it. Sorry, we were talking about promotion relegations. For those who don't know,
Yes.
the Oceanic Nationals, which is the professional league for our region, for Oceania, that is, it's having what's called promotion relegations, which means the bottom teams from the league are playing the best up-and-coming teams to determine who will play in 2021. Raven, thoughts?
If we're gonna see a new team, look, it's tough. It's tough. I'm not sure. I really, it's hard to guess. I think if there's gonna be a new team, in my opinion, it's probably gonna be Rufflecopter. I feel like they've been in the better form, but yeah, honestly feel like all four of those teams are pretty even. So I think it's gonna be a really exciting weekend.
Yeah, I'm really hoping for some close games. It's a pretty substantial bracket system with double elimination, which means that we're pretty much guaranteed. Like, it's going to be really competitive. It's going to be the best teams are going to make it through into the OCN next year. So I'm definitely keen for it. I'm not sure who to put my money on. I think Ferox is looking pretty strong as well, and we'll see.
Yep.
What else have we got? The Tachenka ad is amazing. Agreed. Thoughts on the time to kill for Tachenka's fire being faster than, say, a Goyo shield or Capitao's fire? Is it?
I'm not sure it is. You can certainly sprint through it without losing much damage, so I'm not sure it is.
Yeah, I didn't think it was super strong.
Did we test when we did the Tachenka little muckabout? Did we test standing in his fire pit versus a Capitao fire pit?
I don't think so. We tested the time that they take each of them, but I don't think we tested damage per second of each of them comparatively.
We need to locate a bomb.
Yeah, not as far as we both know. I don't think the time to kill is higher. It's certainly easier to avoid, both due to the fact it's lower duration, and a smaller pit.
Yeah, it's so small, isn't it? So you can really quite simply run through it. The time, because I've played a couple games of ranked, and I've seen the Chanka crop up in quite a few rounds, and the people are really eager to experiment with him. And what you frequently see is they just get spammed like dong 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 dong, throwing out lots and lots of those things to try and get a large area exposed to the fire, but it's quite difficult because they don't last for very long and they're very small.
Yeah.
I think we're on Southeast Asian service, by the way. Am I hosting? Or
Oh,
are you hosting?
you are hosting.
Yeah, that'll be it.
I was wondering. There was one time where it felt like I was shooting against ping. I just heard a window get hit.
Believe in yourself.
I think it's
Believe
down here.
That's the real. Is that you on the Kali? It's always you
Yeah,
on the
it
Kali.
was me on the Kali.
Oh, I just missed someone.
So
I had the freest refrag against you and I
to
died.
bring this back to the episode of the focus, the focus of the episode, I heard the Valkyrie hit the window in classroom. That was why I swung on that window, but I certainly whiffed.
I want to know where this black eye is that's spotting me right now. Oh, I'm getting pre-fired through the floor.
Oh
This
yeah, I
shit.
should be spectating you.
Where am I getting spotted from? There is a black eye somewhere.
Just use sound to fight back, Dev.
I wish I could. I can try actually. Like I can try and use some sound to.
Sounds close, right?
I hear the dock. Isn't that
Oh,
Dockerby?
maybe that is the Dockerby.
Yep, you're right there. Oh no! I didn't realize my head was exposed, and there were two in there anyway, so that's alright. I would have died.
Was it two in there?
I think I saw a Malusi, right?
The
Yeah,
diffuser
Malusi
is
was
no
in there.
longer in your possession.
Well, Dockerby's gonna die.
There you go. I just jumped. I was convinced. So I saw the Malusi when I droned, and then I ended up dying to the Valkyrie. That's alright. You know what? We should be playing Dockerby. It would be a great operator to demonstrate sound.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point too, right? Like we've been emphasizing the power of sound cues and sound in general in this game. Maybe while a very annoying aspect of Dockerby, if you're against her, a very strong aspect to her gadget is just the sheer amount of sound and like the volume of that sound that it makes, like the phones create, is very, very important.
Yep. I'm gonna do it. I'm playing Dockerby.
Nice.
Try not to die at the start, Raven.
Okay. I'll play Kali again.
Oh no. I've got a problem. Did you see his desktop wallpaper when he alt-tabbed before?
Jeez.
He's got some unresolved.
You're calling me out here. If anybody
Yes, I
cannot appreciate my Queen Kali, then I don't think they understand anything.
I'm just picturing, like, you know, you finish the episode, you go over to your shrine and just like worship.
Absolutely. How did you know? That's why we needed the backdrops. Had to hide the shrine.
That's true. That's true. The pot plants have all gone. No more grow lights. It's all just, it's a Kali shrine now.
Yeah.
They're not the top floor.
This is another instance that I often just use sound keys. I will just like drone into a room and then sit still, and then sit and listen. Right now I'm hearing a mute jammer, right? So a jammer needs to be close to this drone. It's probably kitchen, not kitchen.
It's not kitchen.
So it must be basement.
Insertion in 5 seconds.
I think so. I've checked every bomb site aside from basement, so by process of elimination,
Bomb must be
they
located
must
and
be in the
defused.
basement.
They sure are. But yeah, it's just it's easier to just sit there with a drone and listen for where the footsteps are coming from. All the reinforcements, because obviously they're very loud. And that way it's a lot safer. Oh my gosh.
Oh, there's one in garage, is there?
Apparently. Oh, I'm scared.
I mean,
Kali's-
call.
Go.
I hear one bottom of these stairs. Like meeting hallway. Yeah, in meeting hallway.
have dropped the diffuser.
I think there's one in Harry Potter. There's not. I don't know what I was hearing.
I just used sound to absolutely destroy that Valkyrie. If only you were spectating me.
You located a
I
bomb.
wasn't. Sorry, bro.
I used sound and then I flash banged her into the corner and then I destroyed her. I'm also gonna hot drop onto site. Let's go.
Last operator standing.
I'm being spotted. Oh my gosh, I didn't see anybody.
Got him! You should have been spectating me. You should have died first.
I should have just died. Yeah, you're right.
Demonstrating all of the sound cues and the hip fire.
What's with the hip fires?
That hip fire on that DMR is actually really good.
Unbelievable.
Especially with the laser. I think I'm running laser on it. Also, it's just hilarious. So, never let trying to win get in the way of having a good time.
That's right. That is right. And that's why I'll persist to play Carly. Wait, what is this skin?
All right, mate. All right.
Is this... Wait, what is this skin? I don't remember what this skin is. It's legendary, though.
I do not know that skin. Is that the one that came with that fancy hairdo outfit?
Maybe it is. I didn't check. Maybe it is.
I'm getting roasted for not using G. I'm sorry, guys, but
We need to locate a bomb.
the great thing about the DMR, you see the way I hot dropped that hatch with the DMR? That's goals right there. Spam that DMR into the hatch, it goes pop. and then you're
Chamber
down
wants
in
to
the-
know if you dumpstered her, though.
I did dumpster that Valkyrie. She got dumpstered. Alright, thanks, Chamber, for your input, as always.
All right.
Over to the match point, I didn't realize this, Raven, but we're actually getting to a very exciting game. And I can
It's
hear
2-2?
that it is the bomb site. And look
10
at this
seconds.
cheeky drone spot. I do love me some parkour.
Say top floor bomb site.
5
Yeah.
seconds before insertion.
I hear. Oof.
Hello, yeah. Oh,
He saw it.
found
Let's locate and defuse a bomb.
He's probably thinking, how the hell did he get it up there? Surely Valkyrie goes into garage again. She's done that every single round.
I'm waiting to see if this Jaeger jumps out from like showers or something.
That's entirely possible.
Doesn't look like he's gonna do it.
Well,
All right.
we have people in here already. All right, nice.
Oh my
I hope-
gosh.
I've been pre-firing too much with my DMR. I need to stop. I have an addiction. Oh, Valkyrie on the bomb site.
I think I hear somebody in the lobby below me. Just gonna call it now. I might get ran over.
I'm calling. Oh, wait. Do you want me to call? You're not inside, are you?
Oh, I just saw somebody go past.
On ping?
Wait, did nobody else just see blood come out of that guy?
I just heard someone yell like they got hit.
I just shot somebody in the leg, man.
Oh no.
Is that a hit marker? Is that not an insta down?
Oh! No! My teammate saved me and then I died anyway.
Speaking of being saved, they just saved this guy that I downed. Oh no!
It's alright, it's alright. Look at our kill. It's got this, I believe. Winnable
2 armory
3v3.
side. 2 armory side. Apparently it wasn't insta down. I think I must have low HP that guy, so I think if it's leg or arm, it mustn't be. It's like
Yeah, I think that's okay.
hit marked. Must be hit marked, like 5 HP or something.
It's only 1 hit down on chest.
Right. There you go. It's how, it's how infrequently I've missed chest or head with Carly, you know?
Oh yeah, he's just too good. There's definitely one in kid films.
The other 2 should be armory side. There we go. That's the guy.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
no, that's not the guy I downed. I downed the one my.
You have located a bomb.
Oh.
One friendly operator
He can
remaining.
win this. They're both though. Wait, actually, I don't know if they're. Oh yeah, he's got this. Let's go, Venom. Let's go, Venom Nebula.
Oh no!
Oh,
no!
crap, we did pull through. That's all right. I respect
That's the
him.
guy I downed.
Gave it a good crack as well.
Or did I down the mute? I honestly don't remember who I downed. Either way. Oh no, I downed Smoke. Maybe he was there already.
It was one of those 5 players that you downed. There was definitely one of those 5.
It was definitely one of those 5. Yeah. Thanks, Dev.
You're welcome. I live to serve.
Shall I re-invite you?
Did I disconnect? Oh yeah, let's do that so that it's not a CA service. Then you won't. Then you can play Carly and you won't have an excuse for missing shots.
I didn't really miss any shots.
All right, mister. That must have been a leg shot. Did I just hit mark him?
I knew it was a leg shot. I just didn't think that it was I just didn't think it was not a down still.
I forgive you. I forgive you, son.
I invited you.
I find it in my heart.
Yeah, good.
All right, one moment. Let me suss this out.
While we're speaking about relegations, I can't remember if we really recapped, but I'll just quickly say we do have our Oceanic National relegations / promotions this weekend, starting tomorrow, 2 p.m. AEDT will be the first match. So tune in from about 1:45 and you can't miss it.
No, physically impossible. You can't miss it.
Rainbow Six ANZ.
One of the defining laws of gravity and the universe. You cannot miss the OCN relegations. And yes, Rainbow Six ANZ, this channel right here.
Yeah.
Same time as Raven said, 2 p.m. AEDT.
This is correct. Especially tune in on Sunday.
Tune in on Sunday. Just.
Starts 3 p.m.
I have not been commentating OCN during the regular season, but I will be making a return. Thank you, Raven, for the invitation on
as always
Sunday for the upper bracket final and the lower bracket final. And you're going to get to see our beautiful faces working together once again. I'm really excited for that, Raven. Getting to scream at some Siege together. And yeah, it should be really good. It's also, can we say what we're going to do? Is that okay? Tell people?
Maybe we can make it like a stream exclusive thing. It hasn't been announced in socials, but there is something special happening on Sunday, which we could leak on this episode.
All right, let's do that. So leaks only, don't tell anyone, guys. But so Raven invited me to come along for the stream on Sunday for the relegation so that we can broadcast as a trio cast. So myself and Raven will be commentating with Rob Monday, or Manic, as people know him. And it's very uncommon in Rainbow Six to do a trio casting.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm really excited for it. So we've been having meetings about how we're going to make it happen. For those who maybe aren't familiar watching esports, we're the commentators over the matches. And I'm really excited for it. It should be really, really good. I've got some cool stuff prepped for making it extra fun. Going to embrace the memes, going to embrace the stats, everything.
Yeah.
And, if you put, you, me, and Manic in a room together, a virtual room even, you know, it's going to hit the fan.
Yeah, look, I'm sure people, if you have watched this show multiple times, you've probably caught an episode with the three of us on it, and you'll know that it's usually a good laugh and some good banter.
Yeah. True.
So yeah, look, I'm super excited about it. It's something that we've all spoken about for quite a while. And then ever since I've joined Ubisoft, it's something that I've really wanted to be able to try and see how it goes. So yeah, this Sunday will be the day. Dev will also be casting with Xenox and Guz for 1BO3 series as well. So you'll get to hear the best of both worlds, so to speak.
Yeah, that's good. I get to hang out with all my old homeboys. It's in fact 4 of my past caster partnerships, so it's a bit of a trip down memory lane. I'm really excited for that. And I've worked with all of you as a duo commentator pair, but never with all of you together. So it should be very, very good. I'm very excited.
Yeah,
we have someone who's literally playing in those relegations on our team right now.
Oh, we did too. Found some balls. Yep. Speaking
Level
of the devil.
200. Ranked 214 champion in the world. Just saying. If you look at his profile.
Oh, I forgot it's combined now. Here we go. We'll show everybody what that looks like.
You want to know what kind of ranks the players that are playing in relegations have? Well, there you go, right there. How do you get your eyebrows so pretty, Raven? What's your secret?
My eyebrows.
That's what the chat asked.
Oh yeah. Okay. Look. Certainly drinking my milk and doing my push-ups seems to have helped my eyebrows the most.
Yeah, watching Late Night Siege definitely helps as well.
Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah. It's definitely a thing.
5 seconds.
Using your HyperX keyboard, it's all good things.
Op 4 has located a bomb.
Oh wow, I just in 3 bullets destroyed a hatch.
You're a gamer.
How do you get your hair so pretty, Dev? I went to a barber. I asked them to cut my hair. And then when I had a shower this morning, I dried it. And I put a little bit of product in it. And that was it.
Spotted.
I'm sure that you can do it too. I'm sure that everyone can do it.
Oh, I whiffed. I should have killed that guy. Oh, he's 1 HP. Like, literally 1 HP.
It's Chenko or the champion. You've got so much choice here.
It's definitely going to be you. Definitely the Tachenko. That was actually hard to say. The Tachenko.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna refrag the champion. Let's go. I hear someone this way.
I think it was the stairs.
Oh, maybe it was.
Stairwells are definitely a
A
confusing
bomb has
thing.
been located by Op 4.
What?
I'm still thinking it was the stairs. Spam it on the stairs.
Op 4, last operator standing.
Oh, he was next to the stairs. Oh, jeez.
Hostiles eliminated.
Oh, that was quite the experience. We gotta see Tachenko in action anyway. That's terrifying. Look at that stairwell of death.
Apparently, most people don't realize because default you get the sight, but Tachenko does have the option for iron sights as well on that gun.
Does he?
Yes, apparently.
I did not know that. I'm gonna do it right now, if you don't mind.
Go it. I do not mind. I'll just
I'll-
play somebody random. I'll play Capcan.
There's an old Tachenko LMG mounted LMG charm from way back in the day. It was for a challenge, and I know I have it, and I want to equip it to the unmounted LMG as like a nod of respect to Spetsnaz past, but I didn't have time to equip it just then.
Secure the area. Keep the bombs protected.
Ah, yes.
Op 4 has located a bomb.
Seeing a lot of love for your hair in chat, Dev.
Thanks, guys. Well, I was in lockdown for like 2 months and I couldn't get a haircut, so. Yeah. How do you not get a headset dent in your hair? The only response is that I do get a headset dent in my
Yeah, me too.
especially when I put wax in it. The wax is like, oh, you want me to sit exactly like this, exactly the shape of your headset? Yep, we can do that.
Insertion. 5 seconds. Op 4 has located
Right.
a bomb. Be ready for hostile action.
Of booby trapped places. Ooh.
Yes. Oh, we Spets Brothers. Yes. Yes. That's a big maneuver. Tachenko's voice actor, they actually changed the Tachenko voice actor. Oh my god, these iron sights are disgusting. I love it.
Good disgusting or bad disgusting? My voice just broke for the first time in like 5 years.
Disgusting as
Oh,
in
jeez.
probably wouldn't competitively try to use it.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah. Maybe not. It's
Suffice
so
to say-
big.
It is enormous. Yeah.
Was he in the freezer? A freezer
No.
shower? My gosh.
No, he was outside.
Remaining.
I couldn't see him because of the giant iron sight.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I would not recommend using the iron sights unless if it's for me.
I didn't realize it'd be so chunk. I saw like the little circle and the line at the end, and I was like, oh yeah, looks like it might be clean.
Op
But
4 has
wow,
located
the
a bomb.
back of that was just humongous.
Comment from Scriblio.
Oh!
Oh my god,
guy
this
just
guy
went
just
off.
flushed up. All right. Give this guy some crack up his ego a bit. There you go. Scriblio noob in chat. Only good iron sights on the MP7. Fun fact: the ARX of Nomad has the same iron sights as the MP7. My old mate I used to play with would always run Nomad with iron sights. In fact, I'll do it this round so that when Raven inevitably dies, you can just spectate me anyway.
Oh, listen to him. I'm gonna play Ying. Someone asked why it might be worth putting cap cans on windows. Don't attackers spot them every time? Potentially, but more often than not, I guess it depends potentially on level. I would find players just rush through random windows without looking. So sometimes you just catch somebody. I think I don't know what the hit rate is in terms of a stat on cap cans traps, but I mean, like, I feel like it's a pretty low percentage chance that they get run into anyway. So I always just do random stuff. Like, if you're assuming that there's never a cap can trap on a window because it usually gets spotted, maybe there is a cap can trap on the window because that's the least expected thing.
Yeah, sometimes it's that, like, you do this silly thing, and that's what people won't expect. Because people will be like, Raven's not going to put a cap can trap on that window in plain sight because it's so easy to see. I would definitely spot that. And so because I figured it out, that Raven's too smart to put a cap can trap there, I don't even need to check for it because Raven's too smart to put it there. But then it turns out that Raven's not too smart to put it there, or he counter bluffs you, then you got face and no legs remaining as well.
This perfectly describes for everybody, by the way, what happens to Dev in ranked all the time. Dev will assume that they're going to do the smartest play, and then they won't do that. And then he'll be like, well, why did they do that?
I like to think I'm pretty accepting of my fate for most of the time.
Oh, dear.
I do want to show off these RX sites, but I also need to not die in order to do that until after you die.
Well, I'm just going to go quickly.
Alright. Well, we've lost the champion, who Amari'd into some random window. In a event that surprised no one.
Located a bomb.
Oh my god. I just got destroyed. Alright. I'm spectating you.
Alright, we're gonna... Oh wait, the site's over there anyway. I didn't need to do this.
But yes, you can see there, MP7 iron sights. Whoop. I got pre-fired as I hit a barricade in like the projector room. There you go. There's my dead body.
Made noise, Raven. Didn't you watch that episode of Late Night Siege where they talk about not making noise?
You're right. So right.
Clearly that guy that you played against had watched the episode. It's Emma.
I think he's in the other side.
Air jab in position.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
at the projector. He got me good. Surely I'd
good.
see the bag. Yeah, it's alright. I know Nangs can do this. I've seen it before. Surely.
Yeah. Doesn't lose, you know.
I definitely don't want to doubt this guy. Could be a
No,
1v3
because
I still believe it.
Oh my
God.
The diffuser
There we go.
is in possession.
You gotta revive this guy. He's always got it. That Jackals. Look at him, 7 and 2 right now.
popping off.
Pumping off. All right, we got to win one attack, Raven. Otherwise, we
do.
leave it up to the fates of overtime.
We don't want that. All right. How am I gonna go?
Do I do it to him, Raven? You know what I love to do in casual.
Blitz. Yeah. Go for it.
It's my favorite.
I'll come with you with Monty.
Oh no.
I got bouncing on Amari. Like, this literally, you can't go wrong.
This is perfect. We got a debate going on in the chat. What is the best sound in Rainbow Six? And Blue Panda suggested the best sound is Blitz running. I do admit,
Use your drone to
when
locate a
I am
bomb.
playing as the Blitz or he is on my team, that sound just fills me with some kind of special fulfillment. But when I'm playing, when I'm just defending, sitting somewhere and you hear that
Terrifying.
chug of the Blitz, most terrifying sound in the world.
Yeah. It's a very intimidating sound. I don't know what I would say is the most satisfying sound effects in the game. I mean, in terms of guns, I would say either Carly's sniper rifle or the Deagle. I don't know. Both sound pretty satisfying, very oomphy.
The
5
a
seconds.
lot of guns sound really nice suppressed.
Yes.
I think.
You've located a bomb.
Actually,
Way to its location.
seeing as we're talking about gun sounds, actually a level of sound that we didn't really talk about today is that every gun has like a unique sound.
That's true.
That's another sound cue that you can learn a difference to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like you can tell what operator you're playing against by what sound you hear at the start of the round, or like when you're droning through the map and you just hear pew pew pew. You can say, like, I'll make callouts like, oh, they have a castle. Like right now, I hear an MP5 or an MP5K. Could be Wamai. It's probably oh, there you go. It's mute. He's got MP5K. He's already wasted his C4 on me. There's a vigil right in front of me because that's the K1A sound. You can hear all that.
Oh, I'm getting shot in the back. Oh my gosh.
And I hear that P12 as well, which could be Wamai or something. Oh no, bro. I got destroyed. With a shotgun? I need to watch this.
Oh, I just got wallbanged through the wall. Oh my gosh.
You got
Nope.
wallbang through the wall. Wow, not wallbang, not through the wall. Oh wow, they are
I was
using.
I was low HP. I was so screwed.
The Tachenko's LMG is actually has a really good sound. Also that.
Oh yeah, actually, that's true.
that.
That's true.
Friendly, last operator standing.
It feels.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it feels really good making a rotate hole with that LMG.
The diffuser has been recovered.
I think we may well leave it up to the overtime gods here to see which side we get attack or defense.
Oof.
Yeah.
Op 4 eliminated
There we go.
all friendlies.
These guys turned it up.
I did. Hopefully we get defense. I still feel. I guess I don't play Fortress enough. I wouldn't say I feel lost, but just like not comfortable on Fortress.
Yeah, I get that. We can win this attack. I believe in us.
Yeah.
We're pretty good. We're pretty good. Are you both playing? Yes, we are both playing. But
You just
obviously
get
you are
my-
only seeing Raven's perspective.
Yeah, my sad POV right now. I'll play no man.
Oh no, he's gone.
Uh oh, lost that
Oh
carry.
no, we lost the carry. It's fine. I know we can still win this. What do I? No question. All right, I'm gonna jump on the ace. Oh no, no!
You have the shotgun. Why do you have the shotgun?
I clicked down on my
We need
D
to
on
locate
my
a bomb.
map, like the arrow keys, to go to the like weapons and see whether I had an ACOG, and I accidentally clicked down and right, which then went down to the weapons and then moved over to the shotgun instead.
Oh,
4v5,
Dev.
I have a shotgun, and it's like the worst shotgun in the game. All right,
Nah, it'll be fine.
at least
I don't know what
it
you're worried
sounds-
about, mate.
I can rock the pistol. It's fine. We got this. Oh, all right, 4K comes out. Let's go.
All right.
At least I have utility that's useful.
10 seconds.
Oh, they're the same bomb site, are they?
They're roaming. I just saw two
5
guys
seconds
just
to
go to the east side,
Advise your drone has located a bomb.
They have quite the setup, they do.
You found a bomb.
running out
Make your way to
somewhere.
its location and defuse it.
I can't remember where the runouts are.
Yeah, not gonna lie, neither can I.
I feel like there's a run out there.
There's
Oh,
a
that's
run
the
out
one.
on ping, I think. I remember that one. Alright.
Just face checking. Sup.
Alright, let's see what you can do here. That's sus.
Just gonna get out of there. Not be bothered with that. This guy's watching the drone hole. Very patient. Oh, air jab detonated. Might run out of laundry. Uh oh. This guy's not gonna run out, is he? Well then.
All right. I'm almost out of ammo with my pistol. Seen better days. Oh wait, there is a drone hole here. I can drone that.
You located
Alright.
a bomb.
All right. So someone is ages away.
Air jab planted. Ready to go.
We got this. I really want to sweat this out. I really want to win this, but I don't know if it's possible. All right.
Have you joined Hammam? Is that what it's called? This place that-
I'm trying, but it's all muted up. These guys are playing quite well.
Do we just want to enter here?
Yeah, I'm muted. Yeah, whatever. This room's clear.
Oh my god, this guy just domed me, dude.
One friendly operator remaining.
Oh, okay. Speaking of sound, you have none. There's another mute gem on the other side of the wall, like around the corner. It would be just getting the edge of that Selma charge.
Haha! Outspotted.
Oh, nice. Sounds like one across the way, yeah. Bad
No!
luck.
These guys' strats are just too good for me.
Oh,
With the
so it's just so
I got
good.
2 with the shotgun though. I got more kills with the shotgun than I did in the rest of the rounds the entire game. So, oh, I still call that a victory.
That was a huge dub. Tell you what.
That was a pretty big dub. My goodness, what a
Yeah.
game! Those guys really knew how to game on that map.
They
They
did.
really knew what they did. Let me catch up on the chat a little bit. La 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 la. How are
We'll do
you
one
living
more.
in Australia with all those snakes and spiders? Don't piss them off. That's
Yeah.
the general rule.
Yeah. Don't make him angry.
Live and let live, you know.
I'll tell you, I definitely live by these days when I see like huntsman spiders, which if anybody doesn't know, they are like the big spiders that you probably see pictures of. They get a lot bigger, but most of them are like this big, right?
Yeah.
I just let them live these days because
Sure.
they're actually really good for like keeping other insects away. So as
Yeah.
disgusting they are to look at, they're good to keep around.
It's true. It's true. The snakes, though, you got to be careful with the snakes. You just got to know how to live around them. Like if you have a dog like me, make sure your dog stays out of the long grass, especially during the snake season.
Yeah.
And if you see a snake, go the other way.
Yeah.
Don't run, don't panic, but just don't, try and poke the snake or like I hear people like try and move like if a snake's on a footpath or something, like particularly like now near like a creek or something. If there's like a bike path or something, a snake sits on the bike path. Don't try and like push it off the bike path because it's just trying to live. You know,
Yeah.
do that, it's gonna have a go at you.
It's just gonna get angry. It's for real? Yeah. And I've also heard some people say like, oh yeah, if you just like stomp near it, it runs away. But I'm actually pretty sure what snakes do is they get attracted to vibrations. I can't remember how it works, but
Well, so yeah, what I heard, and of course, don't come. This is late night siege is not a credible source of animal knowledge.
certainly
So,
not.
yeah, but what I heard is they don't have ears, so they don't like hear in the same way we do, but they do sense vibrations. So yeah, I originally did hear, if you're walking through long grass, stamp your feet because it scares away the snakes. But I also heard the opposite, which is what you said, which is that they sometimes get attracted to that vibration. So I don't know. We are on Favela. It's my favorite quick match map, and you already stole the buck from me. Damn it!
Had to do it to you.
You cheeky one. It's just there's something special about playing buck on this map.
Just even sledge. You can play sledge as well.
Yeah, next best thing.
Yeah.
Seen this on the Switch homepage. Just had to say,
Guy on the
guy on
bottom
the bottom
was-
was great as Gabe on The Office. Yeah, no, thanks. I appreciate. I appreciate people really noticing my work. Really, I admittedly have not watched much of The Office. I've only watched like 1 or 2 episodes
Yeah.
from each one. The US or UK version is my question.
It'd be US if it's Gabe, and I would say I don't think you look like Gabe. Personal opinion.
I'm looking at a picture right now. He's got brown hair. I don't really see any other distinguishing features that would make him look similar to me. But look, I'm glad that you could tell the resemblance because obviously, you know, I like to get appreciated for my work in TV.
Jeez. Ironically, you're saying you're an actor, but I tell you what, I reckon many people see through your lies right now, Dev.
All right, man. All right. I see we have the one and only Rob J Monday in the chat. Now, we may or may not have been chatting about him before. Don't pump up his ego too much, guys. But he will be joining myself and Raven in the weekend for the Oceanic Promotion Relegations matches. So Raven and Rob are going to cast tomorrow alongside Guz and Xenox. And then on Sunday, I'll be joining both of those two pairings to make them threesomes.
To be, yes, just like that.
Yeah. There are a lot of people spawn seeking top yellow. A lot. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. So I'm going to go and kill all of them. Where'd you go, guys?
Really? I did not kill that Mozzie?
Where are you, Rook?
How is this Mozzie alive? Oh my gosh. He's under the roof hatch.
Alright, so this wouldn't happen if you gave me Bach, hey?
Yeah. And I swish? Yes, you're seeing me.
Where is the camera? I haven't played this map in so long. I know it's around here
you were
somewhere.
looking in the right spot. Yeah. I was gonna say, you're looking in the right spot. It's just a bit lower.
This is the kind of favela nerd I am.
Oh,
Like,
jeez.
this angle just cuts the map in half, and it is my favorite thing to play.
So Mozzie was the room where the outside hatch drops into. I don't know what the room's called.
Oh, Swish!
that's
Hello,
welcome,
Swish. Welcome. All right, I'm gonna go for broke. Yeah, that's the place. It was actually a bit of potato. Oh, he stole it. So where was the Mozzie?
Oh, he's down below. Down below. Oh, it's Tachenka. The Mozzie must have died already.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
He's in the hallway, I think. Below you. Or like next to you.
You're very close. Oh, no,
Oh,
that's
it's the Ash.
Alright, I have a strategy. No!
Is the strategy to die?
It wasn't part of the strategy, but it ended up eventuating anyway. Sometimes you need a better contingency plan. This is a good strategy from the Ash, though. I like this. Alright. I believe in line. Great player. A lot of years of experience. But the Tachenka... I mean, if the Tachenka rework wins this, it's just proof that he's just the god amongst men, right?
Sure. I believe in this Ash. Did you hit Tachenka at all? Like, is he at least low HP?
Yeah, he's about 40. About 40, so 2 bullets should do the trick. Oh, look at that. Shuriken launcher. Oh, he'll be so low!
There we go.
There we go.
Oh my gosh. That was stressful.
Yeah, it was pretty stressful. I honestly thought I had that Tachenka, like, dead to rights, but nope. Did not work out that way. Oh.
Jeez Louise.
I could attack on Favela all day. Ah, got the buck. Get wrecked. Gotcha.
I was too slow. No. That's okay. I will play. Yeah, I'll play the sledge. I used to love running sledge shotgun on this.
Oh,
back in the day.
I respect that. The Amaru is also a good one I hadn't thought of.
Oh yeah, actually that's a good point.
So for anyone just tuning in now, we were giving a bit of a guide earlier today. The purpose of the episode was to mostly focus on sound and how that gets used in Siege. So we went through like in custom games and like demonstrated different ways how the sound works, how you can use it. We're meant to be putting that to the test now, but sometimes we get a bit carried away.
Yeah, and look, this map is probably gonna be a little tough to demonstrate it on because there could be so many different ways that this is gonna propagate sounds.
That's true. I definitely still use it though. Like, for example,
Oh, yeah,
that
for
vigil
sure.
last round who was pushing me from like where my drone is right now.
Your drone
I could
has
hear
found a
him,
bomb.
and that was why I pre-fired him. So
Yeah.
definitely helps.
For sure.
But I didn't listen close enough for the Tachanka. If I had known that he was on that side of the room, I may have done better.
10 seconds.
Right.
Also a reminder, guys, that we have a giveaway, which we've already pulled one, and we have one more of these
Located a bomb.
Alloy Origins
Secure
HyperX
location
keyboards
and defuse it.
to give away at the end of the stream. So stick around. Try not to get spawn peaked.
And
Drop the diffuser.
well, that guy just cleaned house.
Oh no, I whiffed.
Oh my gosh, he's at the door.
Down to one.
That was
friendly.
unfortunate.
Oh, there we go.
All on
As
you,
if he
Dev.
tries to- Alright, no, it's alright. I'm good. Oi, come back, Ella.
He's
I know he's
trying
gonna
to
get greedy.
flee.
I just know he's gonna get greedy. I'm getting spam pinged right now from this. Ugh. Where
You
is
see it?
He's outside, is he? Alright.
Get at top of
Maybe
that
with-
tower, like the stairs. Oh, sugar. Oh, sugar. Definitely top of the stairs to your right as well. I definitely heard footsteps.
Whoop.
Or actually, maybe it's the door below you.
Yeah, it's got to be. Oh, it's both.
Oh, he ran away.
He one on my left.
Yeah. Stun and push, yeah. That's what I was gonna say.
The diffuser is now secured.
Is he not there?
Nope.
Maybe he's behind the boxes to the right? I don't know.
Let's hope he doesn't hear that. Oh, there's a shield here and a Grishmot. Oh, there's Ella.
Might be the lower stairs.
Oh my god, I can't believe my drone's
Oh, there you
right
go.
There he is.
Op 4 last
1v1
operator
against
standing.
old mate. Oh, but he's got a shield.
Soft wall to the left, I think, is like. Oh, Dev! That was nuts.
He picks up the dub for the boys. This is why I love Buck on this map. Everything can be broken. Oh my god. That
Well
was
played, dude.
1v5, right? Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
take it.
Yeah, I died as you killed the first guy, and then yeah. Yeah, good job, bro.
The guy on the team's not very happy that I was trying.
Smart is he?
That's okay. Yeah, I love this map sometimes. Swish says it best. Brazil, walls made out of paper and concrete on the floors.
Yep. Didn't you know?
Yep. Wow. All right. I'm gonna go defense now. Defense not quite the same,
Defense
You need to
definitely.
bro.
Hmm?
You need to try the Tachanka.
I do. It keeps getting locked before I pick. It's pretty hard to get to. It's like when a new op comes out, right? Like, it's almost exactly like that. Because obviously he's very different. So now everybody's
Yeah.
choosing him.
I saw a post from one of the Ubisoft Montreal, so one of the people who works in the development team,
Secure the bombs.
and they said it's almost like they're doing 2 operator releases per season. This season, it's the Tachanka on top of what we already had.
Zero.
In, Zero. Yep. To take me a second. And next season, we're getting the new operator Rooney plus
Op 4 located the
Hibana,
bomb.
who's getting a pretty significant buff. I don't know if I would go so far as to say rework, but like tweak, redesign. It's quite a significant redesign, but you can still use it as she
Yeah.
was used
10
to.
seconds left.
Yeah.
If you're not aware of that,
Unless you smoke it
Hibana
with me, yeah.
next season gets to choose how many pellets
I'm
she
gonna
fires
do
from
one
X
out,
Paris
okay.
launcher. And so she can
I'll
actually
still figure
fire
that you just run out.
2, 4,
Yeah.
or
Bomb
6.
located
It's
by
pretty
Op
cool.
4.
Do you have voice chat on?
I do.
What are you doing, Raven? I just look at my second monitor and see that you're just absolutely bullying kids. Can I point out that I have done 3 out of the 4 reinforcements that our team has done thus far.
I'm not bullying kids.
Oh, really? They have a Kali.
Do they?
They do. Oh my goodness!
Where is she?
Oh my goodness. Over yonder. near
Over
my thing.
yonder. Over yonder.
Kali's dead. I don't know where that buck went though. Whoop.
Hearing a lot of
Alright,
sounds.
Op 4, last
Well, that's good
operator
analysis.
standing.
Hearing a lot of sounds. Is that you on the window? Yeah, it is.
Oops. Where can I throw this? I can throw it up there. Oh, look at that beautiful camera, honestly.
I think he's in weed.
Alright. I'll go outside.
Got him.
Oh, I was coming to help. Very nice.
Okay, so again, that was sound. I was just sitting in this door frame and I'm like, I can hear him close left. Like, he's got to be in weed.
Very nice. That was a bit of a clean flush through that game.
Yeah.
And a flex Cloud9 outfit.
This is the only game that... Oh, the only round that I got kills as well.
And you got quite a few, didn't you?
Huh?
You got quite a few as well. ACOG helping you out.
Ah, yes. Yes.
I was flexing the Cloud9 uniform there. By the way, guys, there is... I just saw that comment in chat. It's quite funny. Yeah, by the way, guys, we have the APAC Major coming up next week. So like we were saying, OCN relegations this weekend. The APAC North relegations are actually ongoing at the moment. And then next week, we have the APAC Major and the 3 parts that comprise that, which is APAC North, South Asia, and of course, Oceania. So stick around. There's just so much Siege next week. And yeah, we're going to be involved in it. So it's going to be great.
Yes, there's a lot of Siege next week. Obviously, it does start with this weekend as well. Like we said a couple of times that the Oceanic National Relegations will be on this week. Or this weekend, sorry. So yeah, it all really starts from tomorrow, right? I mean, even right now, APAC North Relegations is on. So it's just...
Yep, I haven't
back,
scores,
back.
but the thing that's exciting with that is I think the 2 former APAC North teams, like the teams that were in the league, have already lost their first 2 games. So, well, their first game each, and we've had 2 of the amateur. I wouldn't call them amateur. The 2 Korean teams from the Korean Nationals, the Korea Open, they've actually already won a game, so that's super cool.
Yeah, it is. Also, just on the topic of all the Sieges that are stacked up next week, before I forget to mention it before the end of the episode, we don't have an episode next Friday because of the APAC Major. So if you are coming back to watch next week, we won't actually be here. But could be a good opportunity if you're not watching the Major, which you totally should. But if you're not, you can catch up on our VODs because we have them all stored on Rainbow Six ANZ.
Yep. And if Twitch isn't good enough for you, go to YouTube as well. We're on YouTube, Rainbow Six ANZ. Our platform on YouTube actually is fairly small. So if you guys want to go and subscribe, yes, I'm going to do that. Like and subscribe. Go to YouTube. And follow our YouTube because we post quite a lot of stuff. Whether that is these late night Siege episodes or the Reload, which is our show specifically about esports and the Oceanic Nationals, plus all of our streams and other kind of good stuff. Like when there's new operators, new updates, all the videos go on there as well. So definitely a good channel to be across. Plus, like you said, watch all the VODs.
That's exactly it. So before we wrap up the show, I'm just going to quickly draw this last winner, so then it's out of the way. People aren't sitting on the edge of their seats waiting to see if they've won one of the HyperX Alloy Origins keyboards. All right, 3, 2, 1. Stilma. I hope that's pronounced right. Stilma? Stilma. You are the second winner of the keyboard tonight. Dev is holding it up beautifully there. You can see the magical rainbow array that is coming up on that keyboard. Great RGB. And gotta say, I've really enjoyed using a mechanical keyboard again. I almost did not realize what I was missing out on.
Laptop keyboard's not the play, dude. You got to use this. Also, I mean, it's RGB, bro. You can't pass up on the RGB. You're playing Rainbow Six after all. Rainbow 6. So there you go.
Definitely makes you more accurate and faster, right, Dev? That's what the RGB does.
Plus 10 damage. Yep. Plus 10 damage.
That's it.
All the
That's it.
RGBs.
I love it.
Yeah. Good episode.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming along, guys. I had a really good time. And I know we had a bit of laughs and we played some quick match and stuff, but we also did go and actually talk about some useful stuff. So if you missed that, if you're interested in how sound works and how you can use it to your advantage, scroll back through the Twitch VOD or go to YouTube and check that out. It's all there. It'll stay there forever, at least on YouTube. So we have previous episodes. We've done ones on droning. We've done ones with professional players, and we've done ones for each update that's come out, be it the Sugar Fried update, the Tachanka rework, etc. So if you want to go and check those out, please feel free.
Yeah, look, and I would recommend, we did an episode very recently, last week with Kate, on Neon Dawn updates changes on the TTS. So that's a very relevant thing that is going to be affecting you on the live build quite soon. So good episode to come catch up on and really understand what you're in for, because there are some significant changes there.
Coming soon to TM.
Yes, soon TM. That is the hot word. But look, thanks for tuning in, guys. If you want to review the sound, like Dev said, you can catch this VOD on Twitch and YouTube. You'll be there almost instantly, so you can rewatch it as soon as you want if you already miss us once we end the episode. But other than that, like I said, we won't see you next week because of the APAC Major. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time with a fun little episode. Make sure you follow Rainbow Six ANZ on socials to see what that episode's going to be about, and to make sure you don't miss anything else cool that we do. I think that's it, Dev. Anything else you want to say?
Nah, stay cool, guys, and
Yeah.
Q ranked. Maybe I'll play against you.
Perfect. All right, guys. We will see you next time.